new home of the BCS. This is America's #1 sports network.
Welcome to Bristol. Welcome to the short track.
This is where the fun starts.
Hold you up to the flames. And what do I get?
This place is tough.
Fox Sports welcomes you to Bristol Motor Speedway, NASCAR's first short track race of the year. The motto here, racing the way it ought to be. High banking, fast laps, kind of like playing hockey on tires. And as earlier we showed you, snow on the track in the area. Snowed for about an hour. Thunder Valley looked more like the Swiss Alps. Jeff Hammond may get to the Zamboni to clear things up for the weekend. But so that we can race those cars around here, we kind of sped things up, and blue skies, temperatures in the 30s. More snow in the forecast. Kevin Harvick, Greg Biffle, Matt Kenseth among some of the headliners who will clash with some of the rising stars like 18-year-old Steve Wallace. We're ready to bring you some racing from Bristol Motor Speedway. Our corporate headquarters crammed in the small infield, but part of big picture racing here in Bristol. From the Hollywood Hotel, along with Jeff Hammond, Chris Myers, and nice to have one of the top racers here from the Cup Series and the Busch Series. You have top 10 finishes at this track in the past. Jamie McMurray, his Ford, you'll see on display tomorrow on Fox. Hey, Jamie.
How you doing?
Good. Hey, so tell us about
nice.
what you
Very nice, wasn't he?
what we should look for in this track, especially with the weather changing the way it is and threatening skies. And remember, this is a 300-lap race, whereas it was 250 laps last year.
Well, last year they had a lot of cautions. I think that's why they added 50 laps to it, because the last 100 laps, it seemed like 3/4 of it was run under caution. So I'm glad to see they added some time to it, but the temperatures are so cold today. When we pulled out, even in the Cup car, it took about 10 laps to get going. The tires just didn't have any grip.
Well, you know, coming here to Bristol, I mean, you're driving, you know, a lot of times for Rusty Wallace in the Busch Series. Well, today, Steve and his son is driving that car of yours. But more importantly, you're driving now for Jack Roush, who's been very dominating when it comes to Bristol. I mean, how's this working for you? You learning a lot from Rusty as well as from Roush guys together?
Yeah, I mean, you know, driving Rusty's Busch car here, I've learned what he has done in the past and has had a lot of success with. But we unloaded our 26 Sharpie Ford this weekend with the 17 setup because they ran so well. They dominated the race here, set on the pole, dominated the race. So we unloaded with their setup and haven't really went away from it very far. Our car's been pretty good.
And qualifying was snowed out earlier, so you have Kevin Harvick on the pole. They do it by the points. J.J.Yeley on the front row. Let's talk about some of the younger Busch Series regulars that can challenge. There are 13 guys that are doing double duty, the Cup and the Busch race. Who are some guys we should watch for today in the younger crowd?
Well, I would just look at the same guys that have run well for the last 3 or 4 races. It seems like at the beginning of the season, the guys that run well at big tracks seem to be able to do it at the short tracks also. So, you know, the 64 Top Flight car has been good a lot, and Steve actually won a late model race here. So I think he'll do well. I listened to him in practice, and the car wasn't great, but they made some adjustments to it, and I saw when they did their bonsai run, they were actually like 3rd or 4th quick in practice. So they've got that car good, and you know, JJ and Denny have been good every week. So I think all those guys.
What about like a rookie like Bernie Lamar? I mean, there again, you know, he showed like he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's run really well. Ran well at Atlanta. He finished right ahead of me actually. So I didn't see him in practice at all, but certainly he's run well so far this season. So I'm sure he'll do well.
And you're going to stick around the Hollywood Hotel. We're going to start things a little bit early and try and race some of the weather, but we'll get your insight on this track, right? All right?
Yeah, sounds good, guys.
All right, we got a bowl of homemade chili. Relax.
Yeah, kick back and relax.
Around with the chili, I think.
In the Hollywood Hotel. So Jamie McMurray will watch with us, and you're going to see him tomorrow on Fox when they go 500 laps. He addressed extending 300 laps in this race. Here we have an interesting range of age. We talked about 18-year-old Steve Wallace. Ken Schrader, who is 50 years old, will be running in this race today. And right now, let's go down trackside for opening ceremonies.
Race fans, to make it official, To start this race this afternoon, the Grand Marshal, Steve Lynn, Senior Vice President of Merchandising, Raspy Richards, the most famous words in racing.
Drivers, start your engines!
This is race 6 of 35 in the Busch Series from Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be back here. Thanks for watching NASCAR on Fox.
Welcome back to Bristol, Tennessee. Thunder Valley, they called this, and we had a whiteout, a good old-fashioned New England whiteout earlier today that scrubbed qualifying, so the field is set by points, and we are ready to race. 30 miles from here, there's 5 inches of snow on the ground, but the track is race ready. Matt YOCUM.
Mike, Bernie Lamar, the fast rookie, has put more into this race weekend than he has in any other weekend this year. He told me he's done the video game treatment, trying to get as much experience here before coming to Bristol. But he said the biggest thing that he gained was having a long discussion with his boss and co-car owner, Kevin HARVICK, who's won here 4 times in the Busch Series. As they're pushing him off the grid, the reason why they left the master switch on, draining the battery, but the car is going to be fine. But he told me that Kevin went through every situation with him, a full lap of when the car is tight, what to do, when the car is loose, what to do. But he also preached to him the #1 rule he wants to implement today, and that is to have fun. He starts 10. To Steve Burns.
Well, Matt, from video games to videotape, J.J.Yeley in the 18 car making his 58th career Busch Series start, looking for win #1. Now, he's the only driver in the Busch Series who's finished in the top 10 in all 5 races this year. In fact, he's been 8th or better. Now, to prepare for this race, he watched videotapes of previous races here, and he learned the #1 thing: protect the bottom of the racetrack. He hopes to find his way to victory lane for the first time today, Mike.
Thanks, Steve. That's good advice. At a place with 36 degrees of banking inside the world's biggest sports stadium. Here's your Prilosec starting grid because qualifying was literally snowed out. The field is set based on this year's championship owner points. So welcome to Bristol, where we've seen, even just today, rain, sleet, snow, hail, sunshine, you name it. I'm with our crack meteorologist, Larry McReynolds, and 12-time Bristol Cup winner, Darrell Waltrip. And Darrell, getting a rhythm here. I mean, you've been frozen all morning, and now you climb in that race car, get a little heat off the floorboard, and you're good to go.
Yeah, one of the things I would be concerned about is the initial start. Low air pressure, which you try to run as low as you can here, and grip. You got all these cars bunched up, and your car's not handling real good on cold tires, and a cold racetrack could be the ingredients for big, big trouble.
What factor will the weather be today, Larry? Because we've seen it all.
Well, you heard Jamie McMurray say in his NEXTEL Cup car in practice, it took about 10 or 12 laps to get heat in those tires. So I think the start of this race is going to be pretty critical. But it never fails. What really plays a role in the outcome of Bristol is in those last 75, 100 laps, getting that track position, no mistakes on these pit roads, and being out front, because even being out front's not totally safe at Bristol, but it's definitely the safest place to be. And the spotters, they're one of the most important people you've got today in your corner.
Let's talk more about pit road. Dick Berggren.
Larry, no mistakes on pit road. This may be the easiest place in all of NASCAR to make a mistake on pit road. These pit boxes are less than 26 feet long. Shortest pits we see anywhere all year in the Fox broadcast. So it's hard for a driver to get in, park his car properly. It's also real easy to get trapped in when the guy in front of you parks a little bit too far back, or you park a little bit too far forward. And there's rules about where you have to come in, where you go out when you're pitting. If it's a caution flag, everybody's supposed to come in turn 2, out turn 1. Drivers forget when they're supposed to come in, where they're supposed to come in. It's really easy. This is a very challenging pit area. Jeannie Zalasko.
Well, what do we have to keep in mind? Take care of your stuff. That doesn't mean just the car. I'm talking about the people in the pits as well. This is a very demanding track to begin with. And now think about this. We're talking about a more than a 20-degree temperature swing from last Saturday in Atlanta. How do you stay loose? How do you stay limber? Because you have to get over the wall at a moment's notice. The guys are telling me, you know what, we can't pile on the clothing because we can't be effective. Remember, this is about speed for these guys over the wall as as well, and they have to be ready for anything because communication is at a minimum. They have to stay off the radios. They can't talk about the changes. They have to leave the communication for the spotters.
Thanks, Jeannie. Harvick and Yeley on the front row. Inside of row 2, young Stephen Wallace in the 64. Here we go.
DW, you better pull those belts tight. Let's get this Bristol party started.
Oh, these boys need this today. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, men.
Stephen Wallace in that 64 car, he knows you better stay on the bottom. They had J.J.Yeley in the 18 kick to the top side. He finally gets in line back in third.
Denny Hamlin shot up the racetrack, lost 3 spots.
Oh, he got loose off turn 4 here, got it all sideways and went turn 1 and it almost lost it again. It's what I was talking about, low air, cold tires, hard to get any grip on the get-go.
And not a lot of practice to go with it today.
He's battling John Wood.
Look at this battle for the lead right here. Stephen Wallace in the 64 car. He drove it into turn 3. He takes the lead.
Got sideways, but he's got it.
Jamie, you've gotten that car up to 3rd in points coming to Bristol. That's how Wallace got his starting spot. Kid wasted no time, did he?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive that Steve took the lead because Kevin is one of the best drivers here at Bristol. So I know Steve's nervous. We sat in my bus last night and played video games. And he just kept telling me, man, I'm nervous.
You know what I'm worried about, Jamie, is the car's a little loose off. You get too aggressive with that throttle, you're going to spin that thing out.
Yeah, I mean, the Busch cars definitely drive a lot better than what the Cup cars do. But, man, it's so important to keep your car underneath you at Bristol because you can get a long run, and you can tell he's really...
Oh, he's hanging on is all he's doing right now. He got the lead, but I don't think it's going to be for long.
Yeah, he's driving hard, but they're probably going to tighten that car up a little bit. It looks nervous.
Harvick back to the front. And what of Denny Hamlin?
We just watch him on this is going down into turn 1 here. He just gets in under Jason Leffler there and almost makes contact, loses a lot of spots, but the car has come to, trouble, turn 3.
One car around and in. That's the 58 of Kevin Conway, and he has knocked the whole front end off that Dodge.
There are no easy wrecks here. I mean, when you hit the wall here, you're going to destroy the car, just like that one is.
Kevin started back in the 33rd position. The car is pretty much done.
I think you'll see.
Ooh, yeah.
I'm not sure if he got help or he got loose getting in. It's hard to tell from that replay.
Yeah, David Green got in the back of him, but Darrell, things run so close here. If you lose a little of your forward momentum, whether you're coming into the corner or coming off the corner, somebody's going to hit you.
I think he just basically, I think it jumped out from under and getting in, and I don't really think that David Green made any contact with him. There you go.
That tells the story right there.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by Yamaha, Star Motorcycles. We build it, you make it your own. By freecreditreport.com. Log on now, get the score. By Lowe's, proud home of Jimmy Johnson and Team 48. And by State Farm. Great service and great rates. You can get it all from State Farm. 11 laps in, Harvick your leader under caution. The Bristol Alps providing the backdrop, Mike. Snow earlier, but we're racing now.
Yeah, Chris, there's 5 inches of snow up there, up on the mountain, on the ground, and that's not far away from here. Nevertheless, let's have a look at our FedEx racetracks today.
There you go, 300 laps, 160 miles, pit road speed, 30 miles per hour. Maybe will not be an issue, but the pit window for fuel, 140 to 150 laps. Now, our FedEx racetrack keys, check emotions at the gate. If you bring them over in here, more than likely you're going to get your feelings hurt before this race is over. Lots of patience, DW. Lots of patience on crew and driver. And then there you see, I talked about it earlier, your best friend is that spotter up on the top of the grandstands right there.
And you know what? The driver talks to him more here than he does anywhere. You know why? Because he's saying, will you go tell that guy in that other car to get out of my way?
There's a tough job. You can't leave your post. You're standing there and not a lot to do. You're freezing cold. Chris?
All right, and Jamie, you were talking about it off the air with us that a lot of guys on Monday, whether they win or lose, are angry with somebody else, whether it's on their team or on the track.
Yeah, it's just this is one of those places that you just can't help but get mad at somebody if you get wrecked because they run your day. So
let me think. Didn't you have a little episode here?
I did.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't get mad at anyone.
Yes,
and I got mad at Matt Kenseth here. Yeah.
Matt Kenseth of all people. Was it your fault?
You know, it's just a racing deal. You look back at it, it wasn't really anyone's fault.
All right, speaking of Matt, let's check in with Matt YOCUM.
Chris, under this caution, now Carl Edwards came on the radio telling his spotter, just let me know what's going on behind me. I'll take care of what's in front of me, but also remind me under the yellow and green, the different pit road rules, so I don't make a mistake like a lot of other drivers have here in the past.
Edwards, who's picked up one spot in one of the most brightly colored cars we have seen at Bristol, maybe ever. Kevin Harvick, rookie Stephen Wallace, Scott Riggs, J.J. Yeley, and Ron Hornaday are the top 5 as we'll go back to green this time.
What's that movie where they have green scrambled eggs? Kids movie, I think.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Yeah, I think that's what 60 looks like.
Sam I Am.
Here's the problem we have on a restart this early in the race at lap 14. We've got 42 cars out there on the lead lap. When Kevin Harvick takes the green flag at the start-finish line, the back of the field will be halfway down the backstretch, already a half a lap down.
And that would be Kevin LePage, who pitted under this caution.
Yeah, you'd like to get out of sync with the leader so you can maybe end up near the front when they all pit, but you take the chance of getting lapped when you get that far behind. And you can have a fast car and be back in the pack and just can't go anywhere.
Riding with Stephen Wallace right now. Scott Riggs in that 9 car. He's in the 9 this week. The 9 car won at Atlanta last week. All over the back of that rear bumper.
That's what you got to do. Just back that thing up, keep it right on the bottom.
Yeah, Stephen's doing a great job, and he's a really good kid, but he has got his hands full right now. And that thing is jumping loose up off the corner, and that's about as treacherous as it gets here when they start jumping sideways.
Boy, he got loose right in the middle of turn 3 and 4. Now, here's the problem. He may get freight trained here by all the cars stacked up behind Scott Riggs in the 9.
Yeah, that's a term you usually associate with Daytona or Talladega, but it applies equally here at Bristol.
He got a great run off turn 2 over there and was able to hold the 9 car off. So Scott was kind to him, cut him some slack, got a car in the wall on the front straightaway.
That's 06, Todd Cleaver.
Now, I believe, is he in a backup car? Did they fix the car he crashed in practice
I don't know,
this
but
morning?
There's a couple of them down there, the 25, I think they made enough contact that he cut a tire down.
All right, Cleaver is in a backup. He hit the inside of the backstretch wall this morning. And he was trying to get past Jason Keller when this all started, Darrell.
Yeah, he got a nose under him right here, and they make contact off the corner, kind of banging into each other. There's a big piece of aluminum.
Stephen Wallace has spun coming off turn 4.
You're right.
Caution is out. And
hey, guys, we got to get in here and get this right front fixed. See what we got right here.
Wallace may have had some help. Now, we're told that the caution was out for debris, and Wallace was slowing up when Scott Riggs got in the back of him.
But what a break for Todd Cleaver in an 06 car. He missed pit road the lap before that time. He was trying to get back around there, and the caution comes out.
I don't know, Larry. I think he may have enough damage that they got work to do. You see the 64 just gets up the hill a little bit. The 9 gets a nose under him, and they make contact.
And we're told that the caution was out, had just come out when this occurred. Welcome to Bristol. Now, it's not his first trip here. Stephen has 3 All-Pro starts here, including 1 win.
He does a really good job of keeping it off the wall right at the end, and it kind of takes a hard right on him.
Hey, guys, we got to get it.
If he had his wheels turned left, he would have never hit the wall. But he probably got run over about 15 other guys.
It's a good thing no one else was involved.
Gave him the hole.
You got to leave your emotions at the door. That's one of our FedEx Race Tracks keys to this race.
Gave him the whole bottom. Yeah, 10-4 showed it on TV, but showed it on TV. All right, got a long day left. Let's just keep working. Get this thing fixed up, get it back out. Make sure we got everything cleared out there, guys. No rubs.
What I like, though, is Larry's steering wheel isn't out of line really bad. So he may be okay. The car doesn't look like it's hurt all that much.
Just a little cosmetic damage. He's going back on the racetrack, but we're going green here on lap 27.
Wallace restarts 40th, about a half a lap behind race leader Kevin Harvick. Officially, the caution was out for debris from Todd Cleaver's car.
But I'm going to tell you what, just watching that in-car camera, I think the biggest job right now, Brian Fraser, his crew chief and the spotter, is just get him settled back down. Long way to go here.
Yeah, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we're going to have a snowstorm here in a minute because it's turning white over the top of the grandstand.
Vortex theory, Darrell.
Keep them going, boys.
As long as those cars are putting heat in the air in a rising column, it won't rain on the track. That's what we believe.
Darrell, right now, that 64 car, Stephen Wallace, he's in trouble. He's about to get lapped here, so that car definitely has more.
Whoa, front stretch. Todd Cleaver is around. Caution is out.
It's good news for Stephen because.
And Hornaday gets spun and recovers. My goodness.
I think he gained position.
I think he did. I think you're right. Not sure what started Cleaver around, but boy, he's had a hard day. And now the snow that the cars have slowed down, it is right on us.
Todd Cleaver, the 06, he has had a rough day. Wrecked in practice early this morning, making his first Busch Series start here, and already had 2 episodes here in the first 30 laps.
He won't have any kind things to say about Bristol, will he?
Probably not.
We have already had one good old-fashioned New England whiteout today, and it happened right in the middle of qualifying, which was scrubbed. We started on points. Let's see what happens to Cleaver first.
Just looked like he got down on the apron, Darrell. The car got loose with him, spun it on the front straightaway.
Yeah, he had damage, Larry, from earlier contact with the outside wall here. He in the 25 car. I think the car was just not that good.
And there comes Hornaday going
Hornaday
around.
Obviously just slowed up. He got Boyer got into the back of him.
Nice save. Wow. From Clint Boyer is on board. Whoops.
Knock it down, spin on the front stretch. Ease it back. There you go. Ease it back.
Yellow lights are on. Driver's got his foot hard on the gas.
But listen, when you come off turn 4 here or off either turn, you are in such high banks that when you're in the middle of the corner up in the banking, you don't see real good ahead of you until you get out onto the straightaway just a little bit. You're up at a 36-degree angle, so you can't see all that great just momentarily.
And Darrell, we've been talking all day long. It takes about 15.5 to 16 seconds to get around this racetrack. You're only on the straightaway about 4 seconds. It's happening so fast.
Welcome to Winter Wonderland.
In the sunshine, the sun was out.
Sun was out twice, and each time it was a tease. Folks, this is hard to believe. Everywhere we've gone this season, the weather has been beautiful the weekend prior and the weekend after. It's just race weekend that has hampered us.
It didn't snow in Mexico.
Good point.
Well, yeah. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Lights. Busch, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series 25 years running. And let's take a Visa race break. The Hollywood Hotel at Bristol Motor Speedway. These are live pictures of snow in the area. It snowed a little bit earlier, and it's really coming down now. We've had a couple of leaders, 2 lead changes, 3 cautions in the race, 32 laps in. Kevin Harvick ahead of J.J.Yeley, but the red flag is out. And it looks they need a Zamboni machine for this.
Oh, man, I tell you right now, I've heard of the Snowball Derby, but this is like it may wind up being the Snowball Derby.
Now, I haven't. You and Darrell Waltrip. I know Jamie McMurray is with us. Yeah, there's a groove. You're talking about looking for a groove on the track, Jamie? How about that? So, what's the worst conditions you've ever run a race in?
Well, I guess actually probably the Daytona 500 this year.
There wasn't snow.
Yeah, I mean, it misted the entire race, and there was a point where I came on the radio and was like, "Are they going to throw a caution because you?"
Hey, got a snowball fight. Let's go outside and have a snowball fight, Jamie.
You're on your own. It's cold outside.
Oh, come on.
All right, so Jeff, you and Darrell have seen a lot of racing over the years. You ever run? I know we had a race snowed out in Atlanta back in the early '90s, and
Sure
again,
did.
the weather should be better tomorrow. But as far as the rest of today, have you ever run a race in between snowflakes?
Actually, here at Bristol back in the late 70s, we had snow here in early March, and then we wound up actually sitting on the inside of the cars because we were allowed to bring the street cars inside, and the crews sat behind the pit wall inside the car because the weather was so cold. And also at Richmond, Virginia, one year early in late March, we had the same issue right there. We watch these teams. Hey, you might as well have fun.
Right.
If you got to work in this kind of weather, you might as well play in this kind of weather.
Well,
but I'm not going outside that door right now.
No, why not? Go to your cutaway car.
Walk out there right now and see if they don't wear you out.
You should have a cutaway snowmobile with all the connections you have.
What is Busch doing right there? What's he doing? He's throwing to the grandstand.
I wonder if he no, he's I think Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart's right over there. So we remember this is a 300-lap race, so to become official, you have to go 150. Last year was 250 laps. And let's check in. Kevin Harvick was on the pole and was leading at 32 laps. He's standing by with our Matt YOCUM.
Well, Chris, real quick now, Jamie, I think the last time we saw this much snow, as Harvick's busting on me here, I think we were up in New York State 2 years ago riding Articats, were we not? Up at Zippy's deal?
That we had. Is he going to talk to you?
Well, he can't hear me, but I'll talk to Harvick instead. So you said last night you thought it would be cool to see snow, but I don't think you want to see snow right now.
Not today. I wanted to see it last night. This is pretty wild. I've never really been involved in a snow out, so
especially somebody from Bakersfield, California.
And now the fans are starting to throw snowballs at us.
So Kevin, that's good for
it's
hair.
Too bad. Our U.S. Coast Guard Chevrolet is pretty fast, so I don't know that this is going to go anywhere, but there's plenty of entertainment around. You can watch fans throw snowballs.
The Navy guys over here are having trouble on the...
They have their own ice skating rink here. If you want to see somebody fall, just keep an eye on this.
And by the way, we got a wrestling match going on as well down here. We already have one takedown. So what is it like seeing the snow when you're out on the racetrack? New experience for you.
Snow's a lot better than rain. Snow, it was kind of blowing off. So it's, but I did figure out what I did wrong in qualifying. I just wasn't driving hard enough. So I was in the wrong car when I qualified. So it's definitely a new experience, but I think everybody's having fun with it. There's really nothing we can do about the situation. That's way out of our control. So just roll with it, and whatever happens, happens.
Bernie Lamar told me that as a coach, you gave him so much great advice for this race. This was probably the biggest race that he needed to lean on you.
Well, I think we all kind of took for granted when we first came here. We had tests and all different kinds of truck experience and all the different things that we ran here. Those guys get thrown into the mix here. It rains. They don't get their rookie practice. They don't get anything going on, and they just got to get out there and go. So I told him he was going to be the pinball in the pinball machine.
Well, we're going to throw it to Dr. Dick Berggren because the Navy and Coast Guard guys are going to be going to battle here real shortly with snowballs. Dick?
Yeah, don't say throw it because we are right behind that snowball fight, and I'm here with Scott Race. We've been kind of watching this thing unfold. Unfortunately, neither one of us have gotten nailed yet. You were right involved in that thing with Wallace. What happened?
He's got a good car. It just seems like he was a little too aggressive as far as driving in the corner really hard. His car would push up in the middle. I got under him, and he came down on me. And I tried to back up to not get into him. He's doing a good job. He's got a lot of talent. Just trying a little too hard there. He was a little too early in the race to be chopping like that. And I hate I got into him. I didn't want to. But all the guys in this car gave me a good car. Tripp and all the guys that worked awful hard over here, and Lowry's Dodge is making good lap times. We just want to get this race in, man. Wait for the snow to quit and get dried up and start racing.
I'm just hoping we don't get clobbered because the snowballs are coming in right behind us.
I can hear him hitting. Can't you? I can hear him hitting.
Yeah, I can hear him hitting too, and I've watched a couple of them bounce off your umbrella. Now listen, your race car, the last 3 weeks, second, first, second. You got some big shoes to fill. A lot expected of you here today.
Yeah, I tell you, Casey and those guys have been doing a good job last couple of weeks. And like I say, Tripp and all his guys on this team, they do a good job. They work hard. They know their stuff. They stay focused on their cars. They don't worry about anybody else. And they're doing a good job and made good adjustments in practice. And the car really got fast. So we're just going to be able to take care of it and not be getting chopped down anymore, and hopefully we'll be there at the end.
PA system is playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Let's go to Steve Burns.
All right, thanks, Dick. We're taking live rounds here. Michael's providing the cover. I feel like we should be doing snow angels or something.
This is as good as it gets right here.
I love this.
They're coming from everywhere, and we're not.
Oh, heads up! Oh, that was close. Whoa!
Smart enough to leave.
No. Did you get any good salvos back?
Oh. I like the way I'm fighting them off. This makes you feel like a kid again. You know, you're playing in the snow. It makes you feel like you're a grown-up, but you can act like a child.
We could do snow angels in your tarp. Should we go for it?
Then
want to get your uniform
foggy Christmas Eve. The Aaron's Dream Machine is running good, did I tell you?
Not yet.
It squirts up off the corner. I'm able to make ground on other cars as I'm exiting the corner. And I'm having a great time out here today. When are they going to run out of ammo?
It's quit snowing. The sun's out, and they're still incoming.
They're pelleting the Aaron's Dream Machine.
You're doing a great job, though. This is like the movie Gladiator.
My daughter Macy and wife Buffy are in Mobile, and my grandma passed away Thursday, and they're down there with her. So I want to tell them I love them. And I know Macy would be eating this up, throwing snowballs and having fun on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, sorry to hear about that, but her dad's having fun.
Golly, that was a rock.
Let's go to Matt.
I still have snow a little bit on my mic flat. Carl Edwards drilled me a little earlier here. Now, first, I think I've seen just about everything now at a racetrack, as we'll get with him in just a second. Behind us, the Discount Tire guys have built a snowman. Now, we're not at Thompson, we're not at Stafford, Mike Joy, but I know we've seen it up there before, but at Bristol, Tennessee, I think this may be a first. What do you think, Mike?
Matt, you won't believe this, but I just talked to my partner John Holland up in Thompson, Connecticut, where they're going to race called the Icebreaker in a couple of weeks. It's sunny. They're practicing. The modifieds are on the track. It's a beautiful day up there. Send shovels, guys, because we're going to need them if this keeps on. And now, folks, the sun is out. We have seen everything today, Matt.
All right, now we've caught up with Carl Edwards, snowman thrower. First off, when you look at today, the first thing you mentioned was about the pit road, because this is a unique way you have to enter pit road under yellow and under green.
Right, we were talking to Jeff Gordon about that the other day.
First, you did Spirit's boat.
I'm so sorry for hitting you in the face with a snowball. I didn't mean to hit you in the face, but our car is great, man. Sun's coming out. Looks like it's going to dry here in 45 minutes, but the fans, man, they got the upper hand here. Those snowballs are going about.
They've got the angle on you.
They definitely have the higher ground, which is always good in a battle, but they're getting us.
What about that pit road? Because Gordon has experienced both ends of it.
I just had my guys make sure that I understood where I'm supposed to pull in under yellow, where I'm supposed to pull in under green. I don't want to mess that up. That's easy to mess up.
I think the safest thing to do really is to bring your helmet with you when you get out of the race car.
Yeah, I'm nervous. I'm sorry again, man. I hit him so hard in the face. I was trying to get you in the shoulder, man.
That's what they all say. That's all right. I'll get you back later. Don't worry. Chris?
All right, we got a 3-2 pitch. Oh, he wants time. And
new pitcher.
We're tied the bottom of the ninth. An underhand, and there's a drive. Shatters. This has been a Visa race break, and no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. We will have highlights of what has happened so far. This is like the Winter Olympics. Curling could appear at any moment, but the sun is out. The snow has stopped. We're 32 laps in. Right, instead of the luge, we might go racing again here in Bristol.
Boss, the guy who claims he's co-owner on the 77, Kevin Harvick, he says that he's very pleased with how you've run so far, currently 12.
Pretty happy. The more laps that I get here, the better. And you know, we're coming to race with a lot of veterans, and you know, like a rookie for me, it's pretty tough. But like Kevin said, just happy to be still in the race here.
What is it like to walk through the gates here and knowing how tough this place is, coming here for your very first time?
It's just it's a thrill just to look up at all the fans and all the people. And then the first couple laps around the track's pretty cool too. But Dollar General car's running pretty good, and the more laps that I get, the happier we'll be. Hopefully we'll be there at the end.
Real quick, he called you pinball.
Not yet.
Not yet? Well, he's still doing very well, Mike Joey. Currently in the 12th position, and the paint looks good on that 77 car.
We say every week, Matt, that race fans are a hardy bunch, and they're busy. One of the things they're doing is text messaging on Sprint Nextel to the telesign. Artie Kempner is our director. Mike Wells directs the NBC and TNT coverage, so we're not sure if Mike Wells actually sent that or if it was one of the cameramen that are shared between Fox and NBC.
If I know Artie like I know Artie, Artie Kempner probably sent it just so his name would be on the billboard.
We're getting close to resuming racing here in Bristol. The concrete racing surface, except for that little turn 3 area, is nearly dry, and as soon as pit road is, they'll fire them up once again.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. By the auto parts experts at AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. By Prilosec OTC, a proud sponsor of NASCAR. And by Team Chevy and the 303 horsepower Monte Carlo SS Chevy. Chevy, an American revolution. Drivers getting in their cars, and the covers have been taken off. It's been a couple of hours here since we had the snow delay. They were playing White Christmas and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now they're playing Blue Skies. 32 laps in. Kevin Harvick, your leader over J.J.Yeley. We've already had 3 cautions. Again, this is 300 laps this year. It was 250 last year at Bristol, Jeff Hammond. So all we need to get past is 150 to at least have this an official race.
It'll be an official race at that time. And a lot of these guys hopefully will, keep their nose clean, and will get up around that halfway point to where it can become official, and they can really get serious. But oh, look at Harvick right there. Happy Harvick is giving Kenny Wallace a hard time. Can you believe that about talking?
Well,
huh?
Look at that laugh. You can hear the laugh from
Yes.
Kenny Wallace, even though the picture is frozen.
He can. Oh, man.
It looks like we ran the clock on the Kenny Wallace interview with Dick Bergen. It seemed like 4 hours and something. But he's going to get his own reality channel, probably, from Fox. But he's a good sport. All right, so Jim, you've run here before. You've had some weather issues, weather delays. What's going through the driver's mind, and are they thinking about the halfway point, threatening weather, and at least racing to get past that? And will that affect, bring out maybe more cautions?
It's frustrating because you try to get your mindset to racing, and then you get a delay. And I know the guys are getting in their cars looking at the clouds behind us right now because it looks like it's going to snow or rain again here in just a little bit. So they're thinking halfway right now.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is there any kind of routine you go through as a driver, get yourself mentally prepared? I mean, because again, when you get in that car and they drop the green flag, you get your rhythm going, rain comes, snow comes like it is today, now you got to redo it all over again.
My deal, I went to a school 3 or 4 years ago on how to stay mentally focused, and I have a...
Really? We should go to that school.
I'm getting ready to say it might help us.
Do they recommend this, drivers?
A lot of drivers that started from Formula One guys, and they sent like pilots, just anyone that needs to stay focused on their job. And I have a little routine. It'd be hard for me to explain to you on how I get focused.
But almost like
car.
you would before a golf shot, the rhythm you
Same
go through to help
most
you.
Definitely, yeah.
So it's
write the school's name down there, so I might just check into that.
I don't think they could help you. I hate to say it.
Come on.
Nothing can help Hollywood Hammond here at the Hollywood Hotel. So that's interesting. So what about, you talked about a spotter? Do you lean on a crew chief, a guy like Jimmy Fennig, or somebody here to help? Like Jeff said, sometimes they fire you up, they pull you back, but here they have to kind of get you back to that full.
Yeah, and I mean the stuff that I always ask crew chiefs is, you think the racetrack's gonna be tighter or looser now, and then you immediately start discussing what adjustments we're gonna make if our car's tight or if the car's loose, and what you need to do. So having an experienced crew chiefs at times like this, it really pays off.
But if you're like most drivers, you don't listen to us anyway.
I listen to my crew chief. I will be honest. Yes, I do. Believe in it.
You can tell in some of the interviews we've had, nice enough for the drivers to take a moment to talk with us. We appreciate the viewers hanging with us here on Fox, kind of waiting out the weather, that they're anxious to get this in too. You talk about the effects of a schedule, if it has to be on Monday. I mean, you're thinking big picture here, but you also want to get the race in if it's at all possible.
Most definitely. Racing at Atlanta on Monday last week, it kills your entire week because you've got your week already planned out, whether it's with sponsor commitments or going to the shop or whatever you have to do. Just like anyone else, it puts you behind.
Tell us about Bristol. More mental or physical?
Bristol, for me, has never really been a physical racetrack. With the way that we have our headrest now, where you can padded up, you don't have to do a lot of work physically like what they did when Darrell won his 7 races in a row here, or his 12 wins. So
he was a real man. He was a real man.
You got the kick.
The deal with Bristol, though, is to have your car be in one piece at the end. And it's so hard to do because just like we saw with Hornaday, where you can get run into when you let off the gas, if there's a caution, that's a challenge to finish this race.
So it's a matter of survival. And 4-time Bristol winner Kevin Harvick leading the first few laps. He's leading now after 32 when the red flag came out. And you mentioned DW, and no one has dominated this place like Darrell, including that 7 in a row. Has his own grandstand named after him. More on that tomorrow on the pre-race show. We hope to go racing here in Bristol on Fox. Yeah, we're getting ready to go racing after a snow delay here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Kevin Harvick currently the leader. Time for a Visa race break. If you're just joining us or if you've hung around, here's the way it's gone. Because the qualifying was snowed out, they went by points. Kevin Harvick on the pole. Look at the 64 car. 18-year-old Stephen Wallace taking the lead early from Harvick. Kevin Conway, the rookie from Virginia, bringing out the first caution, running at the back of the pack. 31st at the time, getting a little bit loose, but he was okay. And as the caution came out for debris, Wallace kind of slowing up, and then you see Scott Riggs in the 9 car, some contact being made. And Steven a little bit upset at the time. Rusty's son was running second. Once they restarted, he restarted 40th, and so Harvick moved into the lead. Todd Cleaver having some problems bringing out a third caution.
Yeah, he gets a little bit on the apron right there and turns the car around, and all of a sudden the 2 car gets in the back of the 33. Ron Hornaday Jr. spins him around, but he's able to recover and go on. He's right now currently in 4th position in that little boot right there by Clint Boyer.
And you saw the snow flurries, enough snow. It looked like a snowstorm. I mean, it really came down heavy here, so they had to stop the race entirely. That's Kyle Busch having a little fun.
Away.
Snowball fights, snowmen, mini-men being built. Everybody had a good time, and then eventually the sun came out. And this is what we had during the hour and 15-plus delay. Drivers interviewed.
Look down on the bottom right there, Chris. One bad Jamie McMurray toss.
Our guest here, the Sharpie Mini 300, Jamie McMurray. I guess you were trying to toss it to Dick Berger. See, this TV stuff, that driving
it's
is
harder
easy.
It's harder than it looks, for sure. You're trying to talk, and they're talking to you?
Yes.
This has been a Visa race break. No matter what it takes, life takes Visa. And they've fired the engines. The drivers are just about ready to rock and roll here.
Yeah, a lot of these drivers right now anxious to get back up to racing. You see the NASCAR officials standing beside the cars, their hands raised, letting them know the engine has been refired. And you see Stephen Wallace right there sitting inside his car. Michael Walter pulling his belts a little tighter.
I'm sitting here looking at pit road, and that concerns me a little bit because the pit stalls are dry, but in cut practice earlier, pit road looked dry, but it was super slick.
Well, I think what's going to happen right now, Jamie, is we continue to look to the in-car cameras to see a lot of the drivers getting ready to roll off.
Now.
Pit road is closed, but when they do finally roll these guys off, I look for them to bring the jet drivers back down pit road and try to dry pit road. They've got to clear the cars first and all the crews off. They can get pit road dry pretty quick.
And, unlike dimensions on a baseball field, Jamie, the pit stalls themselves are not all the same dimensions. I know they vary from track to track, but even here you were saying, I know location is important. Larry McReynolds and Jeff Hammond have addressed that, but the size of them varies a little bit, and then some of them are on slopes and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, all of the race teams will either have the pit crew coordinator, somebody from the pit crew go and measure each pit stall at the racetracks because they're all a little bit different in size. Some of them might be on an uphill slope, some on a downhill slope, and then you obviously want to know where the openings are. So there's a lot to picking your pit stall and qualifying well here.
It's almost like having a scouting report for when you look at where you're going, like next week at Martinsville, how important it is. And it looks like right now we're rolling the cars off of pit road. The yellow flag is out. Have to wait to see how long NASCAR. 16 car almost gets in the back of.
The Biff is already loose.
Yeah. That'd be kind of bad to wreck right on the get-go, trying to roll off a pit road. We take a look at Greg Biffle. He almost got in his teammate.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be too good. Jack would be very happy with that, wouldn't he?
So you could drive, even aggressive drivers here at Bristol, reel in those tempers even a little bit more with these kind of conditions.
Yeah, I mean, this is just it's tough to start the race and then have a break and you go and you goof off with all your pit crew guys and then you've got to get back in the car and get serious. And
Let's take another look. You're talking about how slick it is.
I guarantee Greg was talking on the radio or just looking down, putting his gloves on, doing something. And yeah, Carl's got a cool looking car this weekend.
You like that? Yeah, that looks like all the Sharpie colors. That give you a headache. You watch that too long. Greg Biffle currently 8th. Carl Edwards 7th. Harvick, your leader, followed by J.J.Yeley and Scott Riggs. J.D. McMurray in the Hollywood Hotel with Jeff Hamm, Chris Myers. Glad you're with us on Fox. Darrell, Larry, and Mike standing by, and our crew ready to call some racing. Don't go away.
After 36 laps of racing, 3 caution flags, and a 1 hour and 19-minute red flag for a snowstorm, we're once again ready to race in Thunder Valley.
Dadgum, I'm ready too, I tell you.
We're going to need a shovel if it came down any harder or any longer. Kevin Harvick leading J.J.Yeley, Scott Riggs, Clint Boyer, and Ron Hornaday, who recovered from that spin to hold on to 5th spot. The temperature has picked up above freezing. The crowd has stayed with us, tossed a few snowballs back and forth, and as we go back to the yellow flag, they are welding on Stephen Wallace's right front suspension, bent up when he spun and hit the wall, which brought out the first or second caution flag of the day.
Yeah, it sounded like he broke his sway bar mount off of the A-frame is what it sounded like they were trying to weld back on.
Looks like, yeah, they are welding it back on. And Darrell, you had talked about this earlier, guys trying to get off sequence to where maybe we'll run a few laps, get another caution. Leaders have to come pit road. We had Denny Hamlin, Paul Menard, as well as Kevin LePage that just made pit stops under this caution. Again, their hopes would be maybe run 20 or 25 laps, get a caution, and they'll get that track position.
All right, Jeannie's right in the midst of this.
Well, as we found out earlier, troubles obviously for the 64. That mount broke off the sway bar, so they had to weld it back on. You're seeing a lot of open heart surgery here, and the biggest problem was, guys, they couldn't get consistent power on the generator out here, so it's caused them to go a couple more laps down than they wanted to, but they think they've got it as much intact as you need to for Bristol, and they're, as you can see, trying to pound that hood back down and going to send him back out.
The track is dry. Look at pit road. It is still very damp. Going to be tough getting on and off pit road if you need to stop, but we're going back to green this time.
And Darrell, all that rubber has been washed off again. I anticipate this track will be pretty loose when they go back racing. Pretty green racetrack, no rubber on it.
Stephen Wallace back in the race. The field will pass him as they come down to the green.
The hardest thing to do after a rain delay or something is just have the confidence to pour that thing down in the corner, hoping the track's good, hoping she'll stick, particularly at a joint like this.
Nice clean start, though.
And you know, I'm amazed. That 5th place car right there, Ron Hornaday in the 33 car, right as that other caution was coming out before we had the snow delay. I mean, that's the car that was spinning out going down the front stretch here.
Bernie Lamar backing up a little bit. Mark McFarland right behind him now in the Navy car. And that is not static on your screen. That's snowflakes.
It's more snow. Doesn't look as bad as it did earlier.
No, we can run in this for a while.
I think if we keep going, we'll be okay.
Now, I'm going to tell you what, you heard Steve Burns talking about Mark McFarland that we're riding with right here. He definitely had the fastest car in practice. He was one of the cars that wanted to see qualifying happen. Mark McFarland, the 88 Navy car there.
Well, this is more to his liking here, Larry. He's a short track racer. You know, he's been in the Hooters Cup. They've run a lot of short tracks. Doesn't surprise me. He seemed running good here in Dale Jr.'s car.
John Wood in 9th with Johnny Sauter's 00 and Kyle Busch 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Riding with Kyle Busch here, looking at Johnny Sauter, a little different sponsor on that car, Blue Ox towing package. I think they have the towing package on every motorhome in our lot.
Darrell, when you drop those left tires down on that black apron, what does that gain you?
It's a bunch of grip. That's asphalt. And you get those left tires, get them hot, get them down on that asphalt. It just hooks that left front tire, makes that car cut like you want it to. Off of 2, you see it a lot. A little bit off of 4, but mostly off turn 2.
Lapping past the 49, Jorge Getters, the road racer from Mexico City. Whoa, this is Kenny Wallace's AutoZone front valence cam getting up close and personal with Jason Keller.
Be able to check that guy's gear here in a minute.
5th place, Ron Hornaday, the outdoor number 33, and Carl Edwards. That's an AmeriQuest paint job, but it looks like a Peter Max design out of San Francisco in the late 60s.
Well, we've run just about long enough for guys to get a little impatient with each other. You know, you're holding me up, dude, and Kenny just moved the one car right up out of his way off turn 4 here.
Yeah, that's Jason Keller, and Jason not only lost 1 position, but he lost 2 positions.
And Jason's really struggling to hang on to his car right now, the one car.
This 5th place battle has now been joined by Greg Biffle. Here's Kenny again.
Now watch this. Watch him down here, give him a little boot. Bump. Excuse me. That's excuse me right there.
Bye-bye.
I'd like to, that's textbook, if there is such a thing.
Classic Bristol.
Todd Cleaver may go a lap down here to Kevin Harvick in the Coast Guard 21, your race leader. 50 complete. And Dick Berggren, Denny Hamlin made a pit stop. Why?
He made a pit stop, Mike, because his race car was really, really loose. His word, scary loose. They put 4 new tires on it, took the right rear rubber out of it, and they also put a couple of rounds of wedge in that car, all designed to try to tighten it up. He's got his work cut out for him. Hamlin, who won in Mexico, now running in the 32nd position.
You know, back when highway speeds were 50 miles an hour, you honked your horn to pass. More lately, we've adopted the European style of flashing your lights to pass. In NASCAR, you use your front bumper to pass.
Well, it's what I call the punt, pass, kick contest. Punt them a little bit, pass them, kick them later.
You know, now that we've ran this many laps without a caution, we've got that conveyor belt look of race cars. They pretty much are all the way around this half-mile racetrack as Kevin Harvick, the 21-hour leader, is really starting to get into some lap traffic. Remember, 15.5 seconds a lap around this high bank half-mile.
Harvick, a winner here last year. At 55 laps, he's up on J.J.Yeley by 1.1 seconds.
Everybody's doing a real good job right now. It looks like everybody's kind of saying, let's get this thing to at least halfway, and so we don't have to be here Monday.
Now, Ron Hornaday spun, but he's still in 5th place. Hasn't changed tires. He's still with those tires. Are they flat spotted? Are they giving him any kind of problem? What?
I think that was a secret, Darrell. He kept the tires rolling. He never flat spotted them. That's why he's able to maintain this position.
Believe it or not, if you're really good, you can spin out and not hit anything and keep going and not flat spot your tires. But that also tells you you've done it a lot.
And Hornaday's really good at it.
Yeah, he's good at it.
Stephen Wallace led 1 lap early. Ron Hornaday has led twice now for 57 of the 58 laps. Oh, around goes Lamar. And everybody scatters. The 12 of Joel Kaufman spins at turn 2. And Bernie got a little too close to somebody there.
Now, I think this is the caution that cars like Paul Menard and Denny Hamlin in the 20, they were looking for, because I anticipate possibly we'll see these guys back to pit road now.
Whoa.
Kenny Schrader.
Schrader kind of got into the back of the 77. Then he got into the side of the 77. Schrader in the green 66. Bernie Lamar in the yellow 77. Around he went.
Let's see what Michael Waltrip saw of this.
Been right in front of you. Go high, go high. All right, buddy, good job.
Anthony Foyt will be the free pass car. Now they're bringing the cars down pit road behind the pace vehicle, and the reason is to try to get some heat in the pit road to help dry it before they open the pits.
Well, the tires are hot on the race cars right now, so they're going to soak up a lot of water, and all those cars with the hot headers, hot tires, you'll be surprised what a difference that'll make.
A wet pit road would be trouble on green flag pit stops, but will we have any of those today?
Probably not.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by Allstate, official partner of NASCAR. And Fox welcomes Allstate to our BCS coverage of the college football's championship starting in January. So a quick caution out with Kevin Harvick leading, Jeff Hammond and Jamie McMurray. Who are you keeping an eye on right now?
Well, we got pit road getting ready to be opening up right now, Chris. We're watching Reed Sorensen. He's gained about 5 positions, but Michael Waltrip's also been moving up as we take a look. And Dick, what's going on?
Well, Casey Kane and his crew decided that they were going to play monkey see, monkey do. Whatever the leader did, they were going to do it as well. The car a little bit tight in the center, loose every place else. They made the adjustment, 4 tires. They're away, Steve.
Same with J.J.Yeley in the 18, Dick. Harvick pitted, so did Dave. 4 tires. He said he's been a little tight. He's got one of those premium pit stalls. He's away.
Now back on lap 23, Kevin Harvick told his team the car was pretty good, but now it's just a touch on the tight side. You can see they're making a track bar adjustment. Also made an air pressure adjustment on the right side. Good stuff going so far for Harvick. The car he owns, the 33, Ron Hornaday Jr. is also in, and Harvick is down and away.
And the cars we anticipated that would stay out, in particular, Denny Hamlin in the 20, Paul Menard in the 11, they did stay out, but Michael Waltrip in the 99 stayed out as well, so he's not been to pit road yet.
So Waltrip should lead this time by. For the first time today, he'll be the 3rd different leader. Under caution, you must enter the pits at turn 2 and exit the pits at turn 1. And the pit boxes are short and things get a little crowded here.
Yeah, I mean, these pit boxes, they're almost not even long enough for these Busch cars, but you see Kyle Busch in the 5 car. Now, what he's got is perfectly legal, but Clint Boyer just barely squeaks by in the 2 car. But what's legal about that 5 car situation, your right rear can be outside of the pit box. And you can see how wet pit road is there. He couldn't even get going when he tried to leave his pit box.
Anthony Foyt the 4th got the free pass on this, the 4th caution flag of the day. The sun is out full here, and every time that's happened today, it snowed hard shortly thereafter.
It's got a real good pattern, hasn't
it? We're coming to the green flag after the 4th caution flag of the day. 69 laps complete. Michael Waltrip, who did not pit, leads Denny Hamlin and Paul Menard, who pitted on the previous caution, as did Joel Kaufman. And then Kevin Harvick and the rest of the men who were the race leaders.
I think that 20 car and the 11, you know, they pitted there a little bit ago, and Michael hadn't. They ought to be able to. Michael's going to have his hands full holding those 2 guys off.
Yeah, they pitted on lap 35. Michael Waltrip has not pitted yet, but of our 72 laps we've run, we've had probably a good 25 laps of caution.
Michael was good in practice. Car was pretty fast. He loves this joint. It's good to see him up there leading the race in the old Dream Machine. I'll be driving that at Martinsville in a couple of months. Can I get an amen on that?
Amen. We'll be there supporting.
All right. Yeah, old Ken Butler and all the boys at Aaron's, they got to be pretty thrilled right now. Mikey out there leading the race and holding his own and actually pulling away just a tad.
And he's on the tires with which he started this race.
We've seen tires not be much of a factor here. We've seen guys go a long, long time with a set of tires.
If you can stay on the bottom, you can withstand it.
I'll take those old tires in that clean air here.
Ron Hornaday in 9th, chasing Clint Boyer.
I tell you what, I mean, I've raced here, I know, but standing up here watching these cars go around makes me dizzy.
Hornaday completes the pass and brings Greg Biffle in the 16 with him.
Shut the door right behind the 16.
And then Boyer drops back in line ahead of Ashton Lewis.
There, Mikey's pulling away.
Hornaday's coming to the front. He just got underneath J.J.Yeley. And now up to 7th spot and charging hard. Here comes Biffle.
Little help on there on the J.J.Yeley on the 18 car from Greg Biffle, and he's going to pay the price with Clint Boyer in the 2 as well. What he's wanting to hear from that spotter is clear low.
As long as you don't wreck the guy, I think that's acceptable at Bristol. I mean, you don't want to wreck a guy, and you don't want to knock him out of the line and so bad that it costs him a lot of position. But a little bump, move him up and go by, especially if you're faster than he is.
Darrell, it's a good thing Michael jumped out there in that 99 car, Michael Waltrip, because Kevin Harvick in the 21, he is a coming.
He's coming in, baby.
He just drove by Paul Menard in the 11 and Denny Hamlin in the 20. Remember, Kevin Harvick in the 21, much fresher tires than those other 3 cars he's racing against right now.
And Harvick and the 21 crowd there, the Childress cars have got this joint figured out. Harvick could win today, he could win tomorrow.
And since the snowstorm, the track has acquired more grip. Most everybody has just run their fastest lap of this race within the last couple of laps here.
Yeah, I think they're getting comfortable too.
Well, and they got fresh tires. Remember, Jamie McMurray in our pre-race said it takes about 10 or 12 laps for the air pressure to come up and get some heat in the tires.
Joel Kaufman backing up. That's the 9 moving forward. Scott Riggs bringing Hornaday with him. Riggs into the top 5 now.
I tell you, the temperatures, I think Jeff probably agree with me. The temperature here this weekend is probably as cold as I can remember racing here. We've had it in the 50s up here in the mountains, but I don't think we've had it in the 30s.
Not the entire day. J.J.Yeley in the 18, Kyle Busch in the 5. This is a battle right now for the 10th position. Kyle Busch. J.J.Yeley in the 18, he just can't keep his car down right now, and he opens the bottom of that racetrack ever so slightly, and they take advantage of it.
He does, Larry, but I'm not so sure that he's not just getting out of the way. And I'm not so sure that's not a bad plan right now.
He is second in the points, so no sense in pushing the envelope early.
You know, the laps are fast here, and the battles are too. They're just skirmishes. Somebody catches you, gives you a little brush, you let him go, or he forces the issue and goes. But Darrell, we don't see sustained side-by-side lap after lap racing here much anymore.
You just don't have 2 grooves. You don't have an outside groove. If you get outside, you get freight train. But the thing that I tell Carl Edwards, some of the rookies that have come to me, I say, look, you got to watch behind you just as much as you do in front of you. You got to give yourself some escape room in case somebody's right on your back bumper. You're better off to let them go.
Tell you what, Joel Kaufman in the 12 car that stayed out on that last caution, he's really paying the right price. He continues to slide backwards. And right now, our leaders here, Michael Waltrip in the 99, we're riding with him, Kevin Harvick in the 21. Kevin has those fresher tires. They've caught lap traffic. It's just hard for Michael to maneuver now.
Yeah, Michael just let him go. He just kind of dropped down on the rate, went in a little high into one, let Kevin go by. He knows he's quicker. Good move. Follow him now. Stay with him.
Good battle, Darrell, looming for 15th. Now, Jason Leffler, who was Jamie McMurray's pick on the outside. Matt Kenseth in the 17 has been hounding him for about 8 laps, and this time Leffler gave him room, let him go. But as you say, you open the door, and a whole bunch of people, in this case Reed Sorensen, are going to drive through it.
And it breaks your momentum. I mean, you get up on the outside, you lose your momentum, and if there's anybody anywhere near you, they're going to take advantage of it. And then you try to force yourself back in line, and that's when you really get in trouble. I just wish somebody could run high. If you can, this joint is so much more exciting and so much fun when you can have 2 grooves.
Tell you what, Greg Biffle in that 16 car, his car is working so good through the middle of the corner. He's all over the back of Ron Hornaday in the 33 for 6th.
Nobody's all over the back of that 21 car, though. He is checked out.
But Darrell, you talked about Childress having this place figured out. I mean, Kevin Harvick has 6 consecutive top 5 finishes here. 3 years without finishing out of the top 5.
Well, remember last year here, Harvick won Burton in the other Childress car, runs 2nd. Harvick comes up from dead last in the Cup race and wins it on Sunday. I tell you, the RCR cars are going to be tough again this weekend because they're better cars this weekend than they were last year.
Point out just ahead of the leaders, Darrell, Kevin LePage got in the back of Danny O'Quinn, trying to stay on the lead lap. That's LePage in the 56. And that may make things a little tough for our leader here.
Yeah, it's you don't want to see some guy cocked sideways in front of you when you're leading the race.
And when you talk about how fast you're going around this racetrack, we talked about 15.5, 16 seconds, 4.5 seconds on the straightaway. And that's when you normally get in trouble, is getting caught in someone else's problem.
And the worst thing is, if your car's off a little bit, man, it's a difficult place to race.
Joel Kaufman bangs the inside barrier.
35 turned us, got the right front nose.
He's talking about Regan Smith.
Turned us from the square behind us there, Busch. Sorry, man. Ain't nothing we can do about that. Come on around here. Get caught up if you can. You got to pit right away. Pit right away. Come on.
96 laps complete. Joel Kaufman involved in the 5th caution of the day. They'll accept the penalty for pitting too early to try to get him back out on track in the Supercuts number 12.
All you can do is lock it down and hang on. Hope you don't hit the end of that wall down there. Sometimes you get lucky and miss it. Most of the time you hit it.
And despite the safer barrier, a lot of damage to the front end of Kaufman's car.
Just a little tap. Bad place for the little tap.
Doesn't take much at this place.
That's our 5th caution flag. Ouch. It is snowing hard about a mile from the racetrack, but it looks as if this one might miss us.
But let me tell you who just had a lonely feeling. Michael Walker in the 99. He's not been to pit road. Steve, he's basically the only leader that hit pit road this time.
Yeah, Larry Mack, and what they're going to do is change 4 tires. They have added some air pressure to the right front tire of that number 99 for Michael Waltrip. Service nearing completion here on pit road, and Michael is away.
Putting a little air in the right front tire means the car must be a little loose on entry. That'll stiffen that right front tire up, just like stiffen up the right front spring.
Plus, it'll help it hook up quicker on the restart.
98 laps complete in the Sharpie Mini 300. The first time they've gone 300 laps for the Busch Series here at Bristol.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox, sponsored by New Gillette Fusion, the best shave ever in manual and battery power. Kevin Harvick leading lap 101 here in Bristol. Jamie McMurray, we'll see you tomorrow on Fox, 1:30 Eastern, and your Jack Roush Ford in the Cup race. Some observations as you leave us and step away and get ready for that race.
It's just same old Bristol. Just have to be patient, and sometimes it's easier said than done. But you know, I look forward to tomorrow. This is one of my favorite racetracks, and when your car is good here, it's a lot of fun. And I guess if I could pick somewhere to win, this would be on my top 3.
And you take anything from the weather experience today? It could be. It's supposed to be better tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just hope that we don't have to deal with this tomorrow. We can run our 500 laps and do it all at one time without any snow or rain or weather delays.
Were you surprised to see Kevin Harvick out there, leading the field right now?
No.
Greg Biffle?
Teammate right there, Greg Biffle.
Yeah, Greg told me that his car was great, and he complains about his car a lot. And it's usually fast anyway, so when he says he's got a good car, you know that he's going to run well. But Kevin Harvick is really good here, and the 21 car has been fast everywhere all year long, so I suspect he'll be really tough to beat today.
Thanks for coming by to the Hollywood Hotel.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Good luck tomorrow. Biffle running 6th, Mike, with Kevin Harvick leading the way.
Thanks, Chris. 107 laps complete. 150 is halfway. 300 is the race distance, a new distance this year, as we pointed out. Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer going at it. They had an incident in Cup practice earlier as you watch Greg Biffle work over Paul Menard. And boy, just a lot of close to contact racing here. Kenny Wallace, you're riding with. Oh.
Ashton Lewis in the 25 car got into Mark McFarland in the 88. When he had to back out, Kenny Wallace got into his right rear. And Greg Biffle just goes by Paul Menard in the 11 car. I was about to say that's a battle for 4th, but Paul Menard has about 30 lap older tires on his car, and he's starting to pay the price for it just a little bit. Track position, important. When you're trying to race people, fresh tires can be important.
And Larry, I'm starting to see a little bit of an outside groove, particularly in 1 and 2.
Yellow is out.
Caution's out. Go low, go low.
And there is metal exhaust system from Anthony Foyt's car.
Did the leader didn't run? Did Harvick run over that?
Matt Kenseth ran over it.
I saw a blue car run over it, so Kenseth is blue today.
And what that's probably a product of, that's the entire exhaust system off of the Foyt car, the 38 car, is you bottom out so bad here in the corners, probably it rubbed the brackets in 2 and they finally fell off. Matt Kenseth, the 17, ran over it. Looked like J.J.Yeley in the 18 ran over it as well. Jason Leffler in the 32. So 3 or 4 cars ran over it.
Boy, and that's right. You know, that's hard. The spotters are right over there.
Dick Berger.
Part of the problem with that debris was that it was sliding all over the racetrack, and I was listening to spotters tell their drivers where it was, and by the time the driver got there, the debris was someplace else. Steve?
And Dick, Matt Kenseth is very concerned about the damage that exhaust pipe did to the right front of his race car. He hit it a ton.
He did, Steve. I mean, he ran right over the top of it. I'd be worried about my tires for sure. I don't know about his sheet metal. Looks okay, nose looks okay, but I'd be worried about my tires.
Stacy Compton will get the free pass on this caution flag.
And this is not a lap these guys would want to pit on because they've only been out there about 35 laps on the tires with a lot of caution laps.
There's a smart man.
That's hot exhaust.
Don't reach down and pick that up.
And away we'll go.
Scoop it. Maybe not.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by Visa. Go on, live life, and remember that no matter what it takes, life takes Visa. By the auto parts experts at AutoZone. Get in the zone. AutoZone by Prilosec OTC, the proud sponsor of NASCAR. And by Team Chevy and the 303 horsepower Monte Carlo SS. Chevy, an American revolution. Chevy's running 1-2 currently. 116 laps here at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Our errands do the math, and you see that Kevin Harvick has led the most laps. Michael Waltrip, who proposed to his wife here in Bristol with the 20 laps led. And Harvick, his last win back in November of 2005 in Texas. Let's get back upstairs to Mike, Larry, and Darrell.
6 caution flags and 1 red flag. Nextel Cup drivers, many of whom now compete full-time in the Busch Series. They have led 95% of the laps this season. Kevin Harvick is one of those. Right now, the first non-Cup driver in this field is Regan Smith. He is running in 11th position. He and Jason Leffler would be the first of the non-Nextel Cup drivers. There's Regan. Premium Roast Coffee, new sponsor.
You know, don't forget about old Paul Menard, though, up there, Mike. I know Paul runs a few Cup races. He raced in Atlanta, but he's in the 11 car. He's sitting up there in the top 5 right now. You see Paul. A little bit off sequence on tires, but sitting there in the top 5.
Good point.
Yeah, he and Hamlin both, made a stop there a little while ago. So track position-wise, they're in good shape, but they're going to have to stop again. They're going to wait, hopefully stop when everybody else does this time.
Had a little brush. Regan Smith had a little brush with the wall earlier and got around. He and Joel Kaufman got together, and that's what put us under the 5th caution flag. But now we're ready to go back to green at lap 118. And our cable cam will chase them around the half mile at Bristol here. There you see the good effect of the 36-degree banking. What do you say, fellas?
I think so. We had about 8 cars that pitted, including J.J.Yeley in the 18 car that ran over that exhaust. But I think it's a good time to crank it up.
Turn 2. 1, 2, 3 cars involved.
Yeah, the 88 and the 25 were racing side by side for the last couple of laps, and you just don't get away with that very long here.
Mark McFarland spun.
McFarland and then the 25 car.
And then Mike Bliss spun to miss him. Mike Bliss in the 34 today. And trouble for the number 90, Matt McCall. He's the driver of that car this afternoon.
Matt making his very first Busch Series start here, and looks like he's in big trouble sitting over there on the apron in turn 2.
Good news for Tim Sauter. He will get the free pass on this, the 7th caution of the day.
Now this is what happened right before the caution. You'll see Scott Riggs in the 9 just got loose. Car walked up the racetrack. Greg Biffle goes by him. He gathers it back up. But behind these guys, this is what happened.
Yeah, Ashton Lewis and the and the 88 has been running. Ashley Lewitt's a lap down, and the 88 was trying to get around him. They've been on the outside of him. McFarland had there for several laps, and they finally made contact.
Stay with it, you'll get him. Still inside.
See, he said stay with him, you'll get him.
Hold the brake, hold the brake, hold the brake.
He'll get you.
Hold it, hold it, hold it. Go, hold the wheel straight. Go ahead.
He's lucky there wasn't any more damage on that race car.
But he's done.
Now Clint Boyer was, let's get his view of these proceedings. That's Mike Bliss.
Slow it down, slow it down. Come on, come on, come on. Easy, go high now. Good job, buddy, real good job.
Good spotting there as well. Now Clint Boyer, how he ended up back there, he was one of those 7 cars that pitted back on lap 115.
Here these two guys are. I watched them bang off a turn 4 here. Almost wrecked there. I think McFarland was probably getting a little aggravated with the 25 car, kind of cut tight in.
Darrell, it almost looked like the 25 car did the same thing as Riggs. The car got a little bit loose, walked up the racetrack a little bit, gets right to the side of the 88.
And then you see McCall, the 90, get into the back of Mike Bliss and spin the 34 around.
Boy, what a close call for Bernie Lamar, though, in that yellow 77 car.
He's had a couple already.
Yeah.
Here's Jeannie.
9 years of martial arts training for Matt McCall. He said he thought it would give him an edge this weekend because he's learned from martial arts discipline, teaching you to be patient. Interesting, guys, right before this mishap, a handful of laps, he came on the radio and said, I lost 6 spots on that run. I know I'm a rookie, but I'm being way too nice. So I guess he lost the patience, and now we see what happens when he's being maybe way too mean.
Thanks, Jeannie. Carl Edwards gives up 13th place to come to pit road.
No, Jeannie, what happens is you give up a couple of spots and then you try to get them all back at one time. Instead of taking your licks, taking your losses, getting yourself in the rhythm and working your way back around, you try to make it all up at once. How about it, Matt?
Well, we're getting closer and closer to halfway, D. Now, Carl Edwards on pit road. He was 13th when the caution came out, making a significant air pressure change to try to get that car back to where it was before. He's gone back and forth between loose and tight.
And I think what these guys are doing, like Carl Edwards and these guys that are getting off sequence, one, we're definitely still seeing a little flirting with weather, but I think they realize the only way they're going to beat Kevin Harvick at the 21 is do something out of the box. Get off sequence and maybe it'll work out.
Dick Berggren.
Well, Denny Hamlin is in fact off sequence because he had to make that early pit stop to adjust the car. They've done a good job adjusting it. Car's still not perfect, still a little bit too free for Hamlin. But they are definitely playing the weather card. They think that there's heavy weather not far from here. And at first, crew chief Dave Rogers said stay out no matter what. But then he changed his mind and said that if Harvick comes in, you got to pit too. Well, Harvick stayed out, and so did Hamlin. Hamlin's in second. Steve.
Well, Dick Reed Sorensen, the 41, telling his crew, I think we have ourselves a pretty good race car. The brakes are locking up just a little bit and are a little tight through the center, but he said overall, I like our race car.
I'll look at Sorensen. Kevin Harvick has led most of this race. We listened in to Kevin and his team.
All right, guys, we'll be staying out this time. Kevin, just to give you a heads up, Bissell seems to be kind of charging forward. He's in 3rd place now, but you know, I mean, I don't know if he's any better than you are, so we'll just keep you informed when he gets past 2nd. I'll give you some time.
And I believe that 20 car, he stuck his nose on that last restart. He stuck his nose under Kevin Harvick, but he got loose off of 4. I believe Biffle is better than Hamlin is in the 16, and I believe he can get by him. If he does, I think he might be able to put some pressure on Harvick.
Yeah, Hamlin's pushing toward 100 laps on his set of tires right now on the 20 car.
Yeah, he's really loose off.
Aaron Fike, the first car 1 lap down. The Smith Transport 43 lined up alongside the Coast Guard 21 of Harvick, the race leader. Here we go. Great start for Harvick.
That's such a big advantage to clear that lap traffic and get down on the inside and turn 1. Look what a lead you get when you can do that. Now the 43 of Aaron Spike, he's going to hold these other guys up. They've got to get around him. That takes a few laps. Harvick is gone.
What Kevin Harvick, he is shot out to a lead because of the 43 car right now. which is Aaron Fike, who is a lap down. I won't say he's holding up those guys, but they definitely are a distraction to him right now, to those guys.
And Fike is just trying to stay in position to get the free pass.
Pretty good chance.
When the next caution comes out.
Pretty good chance if he does what he keeps doing, he'll get it. Because back in the back here, hello. People are slamming into each other left and right.
Yeah, this is a big stack up here as you look forward from Michael Waltrip at Kenny Wallace.
I've been impressed with my brother, Michael. I mean, he's passed cars where he's caught them, inside, outside. One of the few guys I've seen make passes on the outside, and he's moving forward.
Now, Ron Hornaday in the 33 car, he got caught on the outside by Kyle Busch in the 5, so not only did he lose that position, but as well to Matt Kenseth in the 17. Right now, this is a battle for about the 5th position.
We will complete this race today. We're 17 to halfway, and once we pass halfway, if the race has to be red flagged, it can be called official, and we'll make that easily despite threatening weather.
See Clint Boyer there in the 2 car. Now he's slicing through this traffic right here. Has a little fresher tires than most of these guys right now. But right now, he's back in the 22nd position.
Yeah, and again, when you've got the fresh tires, looks like you can go on the outside and make some pretty good moves.
But look behind this group, Darrell, where Schrader is leading a big pack, a knot of cars into turn number 1, and they're just all over one another.
Yeah, that's just, they're going to be a little trouble right there because they keep bouncing off each other, and you can only get away with that so long.
Whoa, boy.
That's a little bit impatient right there. Take it easy. Got a long way to go.
Battling Tracy Hines has allowed Schrader to catch Boyer. This is for 20th.
And remember, one of our FedEx race tips to winning this race is patience, but I think the one reason patience is running out is because we're getting close to halfway.
But you know what I call it, Larry? Drivers are not patient, but you got to be intelligent. You got to be smart. And running over somebody that can't beat you, knock your fenders in, or cause you to wreck is not a good move. You shouldn't be doing that right now.
And I know we're up in the booth, and we maybe see it one way, but you could almost see what the 14 was going to do here, that he was going to come back down. You could see it right there.
Whoa, turn 3.
Around goes the 90, and here comes a bunch of cars running really, really fast, and they're piling in behind him here. So far, everybody got woed up.
Well, Matt McCall was in the midst of that big knot of cars, and they were trying to clear the lapped car of Joel Kaufman and went 3 wide off into turn 3. And 3 into 3 here usually doesn't go too well.
No, and Aaron Fike, he did a good job of staying up there and getting a lucky dog, and now he'll be back on the lead lap. Of course, he's going to find the pedaling a little harder when he gets all the way around to the back of the field. He may be on the lead lap, but that may not be so hot.
Here's a look at what brought out the 8th caution flag.
We're going to stay out. We're going to stay out.
Well, that's a shame. The 90 car got clipped by the 12 down on the inside. The 12's got the whole front end torn off, and that's Joel Kaufman.
But didn't the 90 also have cars outside him, Darrell? He didn't have a lot of room to work with.
Not a lot. And the hardest thing to do here is drive a wrecked race car.
But I'm going to tell you what,
stay out of the way.
We talked about how quick you go off in the corner. It's almost like he caught that car so fast, he almost ran over it.
Yeah, he did. He didn't. I don't think he probably realized this, that car was going so slow.
Traffic jam.
Whoa, man, everybody did a good job of not running over each other.
Kenny Wallace hard on the brake. And a little more damage to Matt McCall's number 90. John Wood picked up a little right front damage from not against the tire. That's good.
Damage at Bristol? You got to be kidding me.
Oh, can't imagine.
That's casual. Casual.
We're 8 laps to halfway.
Kevin Harvick, your leader at lap 144. The day began with a snow interruption. First 32 laps led by Harvick, but whoa, hang on. 90 minutes delay and heavy snow fell. Then the sun came out. They had to dry the track out, and we were racing again on the restart. Harvick leading the way. Quickly a caution comes out. 50-year-old Kent Schrader in the 66 car on the rookie Bernie Lamar in that 77 car. And Joe Kaufman of the 12 cars in the Super Cuts Dodgers had a rough afternoon.
Yeah, he gets a little bit of help right there also from behind. Around he goes, catches the inside wall, but they effect the repairs. He's back out on the track.
Another caution came out. A.J. Foyt the 4th, Colby Anthony. The tailpipe from his car, came out. It's been an exhausting day.
Very exhausting, Chris, but a lot of guys ran over, including Matt Kenseth.
So that debris bringing out another caution. A battle back at the 20th spot. You see McFarland of the 88 car, the red car 25, Ashton Lewis going at each other. That brought out a collision. Mike Bliss, Matt McCall involved.
A lot of cars going around here. You see the 34 right now, and I believe that Matt YOCUM has got problems right there. Our leader is on pit road, Matt.
Well, Kevin Harvick led 119 of the first 145 laps, but he came on the radio and said it feels like either something is broken or I have a tire going down. The Goodyear engineers looking over the tires right now as we're getting ready to go green.
Harvick makes it back on track, picks up the tail end of the field, but he's got a long way to go as we go back to green with 153 laps to race.
Well, he's got a car certainly capable of getting back up there, but sometime you ride around under caution, you pick up all that rubber and trash on the racetrack on those hot tires, it feels just like a flat tire.
But there you see him restarting in 32nd as we're approaching halfway, so he's got a long way to go from there. Biggest challenge, stay out of trouble.
And he knows there'll be more cautions to help get caught up to the field. The good news for Harvick, this could have been his final pit stop of the day.
I would say his pit stop and 9 others that made him right then, like would include Ron Hornaday, Paul Menard, those guys, I would say they anticipate not being back on pit road.
Yeah, he's so fast that what he's got to be careful of is not running over somebody.
This is the car that's been fast right here. Kyle Busch in that
17 with, bud. That's nice. That makes me warm.
He just got underneath Scott Riggs in the 9, and you see Scott Riggs in the 9. He's trapped on the outside. He's going to lose a position to Kenseth in the 17 and Leffler in the 32 as well.
Here's Matt.
Mike, looking at the tires off Kevin Harvick's car, the left rear tire has picked up a tear-off somebody's windshield, so there was debris on that left rear. They believe that is the bad sensation that Harvick was feeling.
And Matt, the thing about it, when they went back to racing and got the tires back up with some heat in them, it would have come right off. Would not been a problem.
But you just don't, when you pick up all that stuff on your tire, it gives you such a false feeling that you'd swear you got a flat tire.
Yeah, if you have to make a green flag pit stop here for a problem, you're 2 to 3 laps down.
And he has a very dominant car. If he takes his time, doesn't run over anybody, that's a big thing.
That's of little concern to Denny Hamlin, whose Rockwell Automation Chevy leads Greg Biffle by just 1 car length.
And I believe that's what Hamlin needed, was to get out front. His car's a little too free to race somebody, but he'll be all right when he can use the whole racetrack.
And remember, Denny Hamlin has not been on pit road since lap 35, which is about 115 laps ago. A lot of cautions in there. Greg Biffle in the 16, little fresher tires.
Now Biffle has run 9 Busch Series races here. He's finished 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He has not won. Yeah.
He would like to change that today.
We heard Jamie McMurray say that Greg said he loves his car. It's perfect. So we'll see how that pays off for him. That's what you need here, is a perfect car.
Tell you a guy that we were talking about earlier, remember he stayed out up until lap 97, Michael Waltrip in the 99. He's worked his way back in the top 10, just drove by Johnny Sauter in the 00. He's up to 7th. You see right there, the 2nd biggest mover, actually twice.
Well, yeah, think about it, Larry. When we came on pit road, remember we said he's a lonely man? So he had to pass all those guys to get back up there.
I'm impressed with the race Johnny Sauter's driving as we look at the gaggle of cars trying to get around Joel Kaufman, and NASCAR has been told to pick up the pace.
That 12 car needs to be, he needs to bring him in. He's a roadblock.
And that's Joel Kaufman. NASCAR has told him to bring it to the road. You can't get out of the way here, Darrell. It's happening too fast.
The hardest thing to drive here is a wrecked race car. I mean, you just can't get out of people's way.
And Kaufman will bring that car to pit road where they'll have to either speed it up or put it behind the wall for the day.
Tell you what, Kyle Busch, we're riding with him. He has caught those front 2 here in the 5 car. He definitely has the fastest race car out there right now.
Long gap back to Matt Kenseth in 4th as the 3 leaders are now together. How about it, Steve? Can Kenseth run him down?
Yeah, Mike, remember, he hit that exhaust pipe not too long ago, so he seems to have dodged a bullet there. He just told crew chief Chad Norris his car is just a little bit tight. They're already talking about air pressure adjustments to make if and when they do stop.
Right behind him, Jason Leffler, the 32. As back up front, it's a 3-car race for the lead. Hamlin, Biffle, and Busch.
And you know what, Darrell, if I'm Chad Walter, Kyle Busch's crew chief, or possibly Jeff Dickerson, the spotter, I think the thing I'm going to start preaching now to Kyle Busch and the 5, we've talked about it, is patience. We've got a long way to go in this race.
I like where he is, Larry. He's in a little pocket right there. He sees the 2 leaders, but there's nobody pressuring him. Just sit there and ride for a while. This is when the driver has to be patient and smart.
Now, when we restarted, Kevin Harvick was just about half a lap behind the race leaders. And he's in no danger of running them down quickly, but gaining all the spots and track position that he can.
I tell you, it's been fun to watch, Joe. Yep. He is slicing and dicing. He takes them where he catches them.
But the biggest friend he has right now is the lap cars that our leaders are getting into, because at one point, the leaders were only 4 seconds behind Kevin Harvick in the 21.
Nice run for Jay Sauter in that 0-1. He is up for 11th place. The Western Union car. Curtis Davis going a lap down. Make that 6 laps down, or 5 rather.
If I was Kyle Busch's spotter right now, I'd be saying, dude, you're doing a perfect job. Stay where you are. Hamlin's a little bit loose up there. Biffle and he, there could be some problems right there. Give yourself a little room.
We know as they get to those cars, they're trying to put a lap down. They're going to race that leader real hard.
No pressure from behind. Well, here comes Kenseth, so he has closed the gap quite a bit. When he gets up there, then the 5 might have to go.
And I tell you who else has closed the gap. Jamie McMurray's pick, Jason Leffler, in that 32 car. He's moved up to the 5th position right there with Matt Kenseth.
Steve?
And Mike, Jason Leffler in that 32 doing a great job of being patient, as you guys have talked about all day. He's telling his crew that his car is tight getting into the corners, but a little loose getting off. But the longer he runs, the better the car gets.
Starts to get the heat built in those tires, starts to get the air pressure up. It's coming to him.
Burn a little fuel off, get a little more nose weight, get a little snug getting in, feels good.
For the lead, Biffle beginning to put some pressure on Denny Hamlin as Hamlin moves up to lap Kenny Schrader.
Well, the reason is now is that the 5 cars there, the 17, the 32, and the 99 has caught this group too. So all these cars are catching up with them. They got to go.
But I'm going to tell you what, Denny Hamlin in that 20 car, they've got a good race car. They're sitting out there right now on 135 laps on that set of tires on that 20.
Yeah, the bad news is he knows he's got to stop again.
Yeah, he couldn't even make it on fuel.
He can't make it on fuel, so that's his problem.
Black flag for the 49. Jorge Getter's not up to speed. And NASCAR has asked him to park it. There you see him exiting the track as Michael Waltrip passes Jason Leffler and moves up
to 6. Backs up to 5th now. I like Michael's car. That thing, that Dream Machine, is looking like a real dream today.
Leaders side by side in the middle of the corner, and Hamlin gives Biffle plenty of room.
That's something you won't see much at Bristol. Greg Biffle took the lead on the outside, and Kyle Busch in the 5 is going to follow him.
Kyle Busch has got room, and Matt Kenseth, the 17, comes low to cover the spot.
99's got a flat tire.
And I'm going to tell you what, he just about got ran over by Clint Boyer in the 2. It was mighty close.
3 leaders under a blanket. Biffle out ahead of them. As see what happens to Michael here.
Yeah, his right rear tire is flat, and he just about he almost caught a caution. The worst kind.
Biffle now a little impatient with Schrader. And Kyle Busch looks like he may get 2nd place away from Hamlin.
Well, he slid it in there. I don't know if it'll stick or not.
Up to 66.
And now Schrader's up high and out of the way. Here come the leaders in the bottom lane.
Get a report that was a flat right rear on Michael Waltrip, the 99 car.
Tell you, the guy that's right there now is the 17 car.
Turn 2, Curtis Davis up high, does not stop. Although he slowed, he may have a tire down. He's coming to pit road.
I'm going to tell you right now, a guy that I've got to believe that hopes a caution is not that far out there would be Denny Hamlin in that 20 car, because if not, he's going to have to make a green flag stop for fuel here shortly.
Here's your Allstate Good Hands driver of the day. Give it to Clint Boyer, who needed good hands and a heavy foot on the brake pedal to keep from running over Michael Waltrip when Waltrip cut a tire down. Allstate, official insurance partner of NASCAR.
They saved each other.
Yes.
They both had good hands.
Johnny Sauter's driven a smart race. It wasn't too long ago that he came here and hit everything but the lottery. But he's been timing his passes, giving people room, and driving a really smart race. He's one of not too many people, Jeannie, that still has all 4 fenders on his car.
Absolutely. Talk about Johnny Sauter and realizing the guy got a 45-minute nap in today during the snow delay. Well, we get to say that. Says the car is awesome right now, and everything right now is about track position. He's obviously going to do whatever the leader's doing, but the one thing that he's doing, guys, that we're not hearing much about is he's had radio problems. Almost every single race, that includes today. Sometimes it cuts out on him, which has to be unnerving at this track. Doing a tremendous job, and looking forward to the off week. They're going to tear everything apart and figure out what's going on with the radios.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to believe the fact if your radios are in trouble here, you could be in big trouble.
Still there.
And you talked about Johnny Sauter, but you mentioned him a while ago, his brother Jay Sauter in the 01 car. He's moved up into the top 10 and 9th position. Started back in 37th. Good run for Jay Sauter. There you see him in the Western Union 01 car.
Very strong. 116 laps to go. Some of the leaders will not have to make another pit stop as they race around what's been called the world's fastest conveyor belt.
Look at this wad right here. Scott Riggs in the 9 and Clint Boyer in the 2, Johnny Sauter in the 00 racing for position. Now remember, Michael Waltrip in the 99 just made that stop. He's on fresh tires, but he's out there 2 laps down right now in the 99.
Yeah, Michael's hoping that a whole lot of people have to make a green flag stop now. That's the only thing that could help him, and that's not going to happen.
Now here's Kevin Harvick, who restarted more than half a lap down to the leader, tail end of the lead lap cars after that pit stop for a tear-off that had become attached to his tire. He has climbed up to 15th.
And he has as fresh tires as almost anyone out there, and we feel like he can make it to the end from where he made that pit stop, and I'd say that would be the intentions. I think Denny Hamlin now in the 20s really paying the price for those older tires. Kyle Busch in the 5 just goes by him for the 2nd position.
Right on top of you, bud. Corner, corner, corner. Clear, clear. Right your 20. Right your 20 width.
Oh, trouble right here.
Car in the wall, turn 4, Jason Leffler.
32 car cut a right front tire down.
And he was running in the 5th position. This is a caution that Denny Hamlin in the 20, I think those guys were ready for right there.
I just wonder, Larry, now if everybody won't pit so they can go the rest of the way with pretty fresh tires. We got 110 laps to go. 108.
I just believe those guys that pitted back on lap 143 like Reed Sorensen, Hornaday, Kevin Harvick, Menard, I believe some of those guys will stay out for track position.
Don't want to end up like old Denny Hamlin, though. No. Somebody comes and gets tires and you don't. Uh-oh.
Well, it's a big choice. There's Leffler's car on pit road with heavy damage on the right front. You'll see it off in the distance. Look on the white line.
Yeah, he blows a right front tire right here off the corner. Bam.
And you know, Darrell, he was able to get that car turned just a little bit and then just didn't slam it hard with the right front.
So are they going to bring Harvick in or tell him you've got what you've got?
I think Harvick now, he might be in a little bit different boat.
Dick?
Well, they certainly brought Denny Hamlin in. He only had about 20 more laps to go, Mike, and he would have been out of fuel. Major change here is just put 4 tires on it. The car's running pretty darn well, and he said whatever chassis ills he had, he attributed to old tires.
Race leader Biffle came in, Michael Waltrip and Carl Edwards among those who did not. Matt?
Last fall, he scored a 2nd place finish here, Greg Biffle. Now, the car has been tight much of the race, so wedge adjustment and air pressure the first time. Now, they feel like, as Kevin Harvick also comes in, now Biffle says just a small wedge adjustment. He feels like that will fix that race car. And the 21 of Harvick is in. We told you earlier, had that tear off on the left rear tire. Really a good break, though, because like Larry Mack mentioned, happens under green, loses 2 laps. Harvick, left side tires going on as the 2 of Boyer right on the bumper, the 41 leaving pit road to Steve Burns.
Well, Matt Kent has said, excuse me, that his race car was tight. They took some air out the left side tires and they made a wedge adjustment in the right rear. He just praised his pit crew, saying you guys did a great job. Jeannie?
Well, you know, timing is everything for the 00. The car had just started to get real tight after the caution came out. Johnny Sauter said, you know what? That could have been us. Gave him 4 tires, track bar adjustment, and of course all the fuel he could handle, and he's out.
Thanks, Jeannie. Free pass goes to Kevin LePage. He'll get back on the lead lap.
Remember, when Carl Edwards pitted back on lap 125, I made the comment, I think the reason they were doing that is to get out of the box, get off sequence, especially with Kevin Harvick. But now he pitted back on lap 125, but he has the lead with a few friends behind him that are on a little older tires than the leaders are right now, than the cars that just pitted then.
I think that's stretching it. You're going to be in real, I think you're going to be in real trouble right here at the end of the race on those old tires like that.
Jeff, it's quite a gamble, but I think that group knew that may be the only way they can maybe pull this thing off.
But Larry, the thing is, as we pointed out all day long, there's some fast race cars out there, and you're kind of rolling the dice. You're hoping the cautions will fall your way, and you'll get a little bit of help from the guys behind you. But as fast as Kevin Harvick is today, I think you're going to need everything you can get and then some to be able to beat him.
Just over 100 laps to go here in Bristol after we had a delay for snow. Tonight on Fox, Justice with an hour of cops, followed by an all-new America's Most Wanted. It all starts at 8, 7 Central here on Fox.
And the thing about the last 100 laps, which we're going to be in here shortly, that's when everything really gets exciting.
They waved off the restart for a lap.
Guys get anxious. They want to try to get by cars. They make a lot of moves that are going to cause some problems here. So we'll see what happens.
John Andretti is up for third. First time we've seen much of John today. 3 Fords with Carl Edwards, John Wood, and John Andretti, the front 3.
Well, John Wood, John Andretti, Tracy Hines, Jason Keller, they are cars that pitted back on lap 143, and then Carl Edwards in the 60, he pitted on lap 125. So the first car that pitted on this caution right now is Greg Biffle in the 16, who's in the 6th position. And Kevin Harvick's going to restart this race back in 16th position, right there with his teammate Clint Boyer.
That's right about where he was when the caution came out, so pitting did not hurt his track position at all.
I think Michael's got a pretty fast car, and he's got fresh tires. That's going to cause, I think it's going to cause Carl a little bit of trouble.
We're back under green with 102 to go.
Boy, John Wood in the 47, way up the racetrack. It's going to take him a while to get back in line.
Larry, he did not have his tires cleaned off. It's just a product of just having too much buildup on new tires.
He's lost 5 positions already.
One of the things the crew chief, the spotters got to tell you is clean them up. Get the tires cleaned up.
I mean, these guys are going at it like there's only 100 laps to go, like there's only 10 to go.
Look like a bunch of ants.
Slice and dice. First couple of laps after a restart, that's when you got to go. Side by side, Hamlin and Busch. And here comes Kenseth right with him.
I'm pretty impressed, and it makes me look real forward to tomorrow that you can pass on the outside here.
Just you in the 20 now.
The guy's slow
here,
enough.
17 with them. Corner.
What's making that work there is some guys have really good tires and some guys don't. So those good tires, they got a little grip out there. That's encouraging.
When they're saying corner, that means there's the car on your outside corner.
Yeah.
He's not alongside you, but he's at your corner.
The worst thing is when the spotter says he's looking. Well, what's he looking? You know, does that mean he's there or not, you know?
Now look at the lead Carl Edwards has in the 60 car now. The second place car is not that 99 car. Michael Walsh, we talked about him being 2 laps down right now. John Andretti in the 10 car coming right here. That's your second place car.
And Tracy Hines, who like Andretti is a rookie in the Busch Series, running in 3rd.
I think that's got to be really encouraging. There's a piece of debris in turn 4, but it's just a piece of tape, I think. But it's got to be real encouraging to Carl Edwards to be running this well. He's starting 3rd tomorrow in the Cup race. This hadn't been one of his best racetracks.
But lap traffic is coming, just like a break for us.
96 laps to go in Bristol. We'll be right back to Thunder Valley after this word from your local Fox station.
Sky smiling at me.
We have blue skies and snow flurries simultaneously here in Bristol, where we've seen just about every weather extreme you could ask for. But pretty hot down on the racetrack, where Carl Edwards leads John Andretti by 1.6 seconds. Greg Biffle in third. Rookie Tracy Hines in fourth. Kyle Busch trying to hold off Matt Kenseth for fifth. And Denny Hamlin, Scott Riggs, Reed Sorensen, and Kevin Harvick is up to 10th.
Marker 23, but Marker 23.
These guys are just boxed in right
there you
now.
go. Good work.
That 17
Inside.
is so fast. He's just looking for some openings. He needs a little room. He can go.
And we'll show you how Kenseth got past Denny Hamlin.
Hamlin's looking. That's one of those lookings, and when you hear that, you might want to give that guy behind you a little extra room.
Well, you got to admire our NASCAR on Fox camera crew that have been up there in the cold and the snow all day and can still give you those great tight shots. Thanks, guys. 80 laps to go in the Sharpie Mini 300. This used to be a 250-lap race. They added 50 onto it. Carl Edwards out front by 2 seconds. Kyle Busch right there in the box between Tracy Hines and Matt Kenseth. We listened in.
16:05, 16:20 in front of you. Keep it up. Step forward, just cruising right now. We're trying to save for the end. That's my boy. Keep it up.
Pretty good teamwork there, and you know, the spotter being on top of his game, showing a little patience right there as we've got 81 laps to go.
And John Andretti surrenders the spot to Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth.
I think John's just driving a really smart race. He knows he's not quite as good as these guys.
Oh, Kenseth gets into Busch. Darrell at turn 3, send him up the racetrack and scoots on by.
Well, that's how you pass at Bristol. A little punt pass, and we'll kick later.
Let's see what happened right here between Kyle Busch and the 5, Matt Kenseth in the 17.
He's looking, he's coming down. Yep, just a little nerf.
Pretty much about the same thing he did to Denny Hamlin in the 20 car.
And something came off on one of those cars, and Jason Leffler is cut down right front. We have caution again.
Another right front on the 32. He's got something going on there.
Now that's not the caution that Carl Edwards in the 60 car wanted to see, because he had Greg Biffle that was coming in a hurry. There you see Jason Leffler, the 32 car. We talked about his problem, second problem of the day, and earlier he had a top 5 race car.
Darrell, when things go wrong here, they keep going wrong, and a bad day gets worse in a hurry.
They multiply. I mean, you know, you're running around out there wounded.
Flurries down here. I wonder if there's anything from that. We will stay out.
That's from Carl Edwards' car. And the free pass this time
the guys behind him coming. They're not. PK can tell you the lap times, but that 16 and then you were gone.
J.J.Yeley.
That's exactly right.
J.J.Yeley gets the free pass.
And the problem with Carl Edwards in the 60 car, they made their bed back on lap 125, then they made it again on lap 194 when they stayed out. If you pit now with 75 laps to go with 27 cars on the lead lap, you're in trouble. So they've got to stay out.
John Andretti will pit. We saw John as high as 3rd and then started backing up during that green flag run. So here's the Camping World Ford.
Yeah, Larry, this is what I was afraid of, though, for Carl. You're going to be sitting there with all those really old tires, and people behind you are a lot better than you are now. So he's going to be able to hang in there pretty well, but he's going to start fading if we get down near the end of this race.
And the big gainer in all this, Kevin Harvick, who has climbed to 7th place.
And coming.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by State Farm. Great service, great rates. You can get it all from State Farm. Carl Edwards leading Greg Biffle, and let's rejoin Mike, Larry, and Darrell.
Whoa, trouble, turn 2. Big trouble.
Regan Smith, Paul Menard.
Caution is out.
Is that why you wanted to join us, Chris?
Well,
Just in time.
They didn't cause it. It happened in front of them, but they were the victims, as was J.J. Yeley. And there's one more car down there that I believe is the 23 of Chris Wimmer.
Now, Darrell, I honestly believe we said a while ago Carl Edwards in the 60 did not want to see that caution, as you see a lot of damage on our second place points guy, J.J.Yeley, in the 18. But now I think these cautions could be Carl Edwards' friend, because if he can keep having cautions, it keeps cooling his tires, and he don't have to start fighting with that lap traffic.
I agree, Larry.
Let's see where this started, Darrell. Tough break for Regan Smith. He's behind the wall and done, it appears.
Just kind of all down here on the, this is, you know, tight group on the restart.
Oh, it's
once again, Ashton Lewis gets into somebody. He hits a Johnny Sauter there and sends him around, and here comes the 35, and here comes the 11, and it looks like a pinball machine.
But how many close calls has Clint Boyer had today in the 2 car?
And probably the worst of all that is that when Ashton Lewis got turned around sideways, he slid up and into his teammate, Regan Smith.
Whoa, that's bad news.
Boy, Johnny Sauter in a 00 car just barely saves it too.
I think one of the things that's happened to a lot of these guys on these restarts are just not getting their tires cleaned up enough. Pull
Man in front of you, go low, go low, go low, speed up, speed up. All right, back it down, all clear. Good job, buddy.
Spotter's your best friend, like we've been talking the entire race.
Now let's take you back. While we were in break, we had the restart, and Matt Kenseth lost a spot to Kyle Busch. So this is on the restart. You'll see the 17 of Kenseth push up down in turn 1.
Maybe just won't turn, got stuff on his tires.
Kyle Busch makes the pass and squeezes up in front. Nice clean move. But earlier, when Matt Kenseth got into the back of Kyle Busch while trying to make a pass, after that, Kenseth had some words for his spotter.
Richie, relay a message for me. You go tell that 5 car I don't want to hear a peep. That was the 5th time. I was outside of him twice. He rubbed me in the marbles with the lap car as a pick. That's fine, but that was my spot. I didn't run in the back of him. I was under him a foot. That was my spot. He needs to give me a little room back. I gave it to him 4 times.
And that was Matt Kenseth talking to Richie, as in Richie Woodland, his spotter. Well, after all that took place, Richie Woodland came back on the radio, said he had relayed the message to Jeff Dickerson, the spotter for Kyle Busch, and he said, everything's good, and Matt Kenseth said, it should be. Dick.
Well, Kyle Busch did have a comment, and his comment was, he dumped us.
But I like to, I never heard anybody say, I don't want to hear a beep. I want to hear a beep out of you.
My mother used to tell me I don't want to hear a peep out of you.
Where are you out, boy?
Well, on the latest replay, it seems it's just 2 drivers fighting for 1 square foot of racetrack. Did Kenseth have his nose in there? Yes. Was he in there a foot? Well, yeah, but, you know, there's got to be room for 2 cars there.
When you leave a shadow of a doubt that guy behind you might get a nose under you,
he will.
You better be ready for contact.
Sum it up with one word: Bristol.
62 laps to go. Stay with us. In 1 lap, we'll go green with 60 laps to go. The Lester Building Chevy, Tim Sauter, got the free pass. So that will give us 28 cars on the lead lap for this restart. Can Carl Edwards hang on? Can Greg Biffle get the win? His first ever at Bristol in a Busch car? Can Kyle Busch or Matt Kenseth or Denny Hamlin or Kevin Harvick, who's now up to 6th, come through?
Harvick's got the best car of all these guys. He just needs to, use every lap here to not run over anybody and work his way back to the front. I think he can do it.
Pace cars in. Back under green.
Carl Edwards Edwards in the 60 finally clears. Michael Waltrip has those fresher tires in the 99 car, but so will Greg Biffle in the 16 car.
Kyle Busch alongside Waltrip, and will clear him in the back straightaway. What about Busch's strategy, Dick?
Chad Walter told him under that caution flag, just bring it home.
Michael Waltrip and Hamlin get together after Waltrip and Matt Kenseth traded paint. Here comes Harvick.
Oh,
turn
trouble.
2, big crash.
More trouble.
Reed Sorensen in the 41 car is involved.
Tracy Hines in the 14. And a lot of others stood on the brakes or would have been part of it.
Back on the track if you can. Keep going.
That was a pretty aggressive move on Hamlin's part to get by Michael the way he did.
He was all the way on the asphalt, wasn't he?
He was down on he was in the Food City food department. Produce line.
Caution flag number 12, here's why.
Sorensen in the blue car with the red numbers.
He got in the back of Tracy Hines.
Tracy Hines, who's been driving a great race, they get turned around.
Now Tracy Hines in the 14 car, he's one of the cars that's out there on fairly old tires right now.
In front of you, easy. Come on.
Clint Boyer again in the 2 car.
Real nice job. Joe.
Let's watch the Navy cam on Mark McFarland.
They're in front of you. Go high. One inside. Hold your wheel. Hold straight.
Got in the back of Jay Sauter.
Back it down.
That's what we've been talking about all day. Things just happen so fast.
Chain reaction, man. Somebody slows down and somebody else doesn't, and bam.
So you know who did that, right? The 2 car? Is that what somebody said? Did you copy that there, pal?
Well, the 2 car didn't have anything to do with starting that.
The chain reaction that Darrell was talking about.
Yeah, it was after the 41 hit the 14, then the 2 car got into it.
Yeah, no, that was the crew chief on the 41 car there.
I believe Michael Waltrip will get the free pass.
Yeah, Michael's made up 2 laps.
Okay.
1 under green, and he gets a lucky dog here, so good job for Mikey.
That'll give us 27 cars on the lead lap.
You know, we talked about Bristol. Aero is not an issue, but my concern for Clint Boyer and the 2 that we're riding with, has it closed off that radiator inlet that lets air in there to cool the radiator? I think that's going to be the biggest question. It looks like it's closed down quite a bit.
The good thing for him, though, is I think they got quite a bit of opening in the bumper down there, and it is a nice, cool day. So if it's ever going to not cause a problem, I think today would be it.
Now, there's everything here from hero to zero, no aero.
Exactly. Hero zero is the big part, though.
That's right. A little more than 50 laps to go. You're watching the NASCAR Busch Series on Fox. Michael Waltrip back on the lead lap, so he makes a pit stop.
Boy, I tell you, that was bad timing, though, because they're going to come in. They're coming to the green, and he's got to go all the way around pit road. They're going to be taking the green when he finally gets on the racetrack.
He and Mark McFarland both stopped. It's Carl Edwards still, Greg Biffle, Kyle Busch now 3rd. Edwards looking to rebound after a rough weekend at Atlanta, finished 24th in the Busch race and 40th in the Cup race.
It's going to be an interesting 51 laps right here. Carl Edwards in the 60 got a great restart. Looked like Greg Biffle in the 60 maybe spun his rear tires just ever so slightly, but they'll both clear Reed Sorensen in that 41 car.
They put Michael Waltrip a lap down quickly. And Kyle Busch and Matt Kenseth, you see the damage from their prior contact on Kenseth's right front. They are still nose to tail, 3rd and 4th. Denny Hamlin almost got turned around by Harvick as they came off turn 4.
Well, he ran up on Michael Waltrip in the 99 car that is now a back a lap down. Harvick got in the back of him just ever so slightly.
But politely.
Politely. Slightly, but politely.
Slightly, lightly, politely, and it looks like it may end up being all nightly.
48 to go.
Denny Hamlin right now in the 20 car in the 5th position. Kevin Harvick in the 21 and 6th.
I'm not so sure that Harvick hadn't used a lot of his stuff up getting to where he is.
Well, remember, when he pitted back there on lap 143, he restarted back in 32nd position and has worked his way back up to 6th. So you got to use your stuff to do that. Right now, just watching our leader, Carl Edwards, in the 60, he's just floating that thing down in the corner. He's not having to deal with any lap traffic, running the bottom. He's not really abusing his equipment right now.
I think he's going to be okay till he catches the back of the field. Then that maneuverability will not be there for him.
At the other end of the spectrum, right of your screen, Ashton Lewis, 25, not quite up to pace. And as we've said, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. When your car isn't as fast as the rest of the pack, they're just all going to come and gang up on you. Harvick put a little bump and run on Denny Hamlin, and now Kevin is the 5th place car.
Been pretty common today. Kevin Harvick in the 21, just a little bump, did it in the straightaway.
Yeah, actually, that's a perfect place to do it. Didn't hit him really all that hard, just let him know he was there.
We used to call that using the chrome horn, but the bumpers aren't chrome anymore.
Well, we used to call it a wake-up call. Hey, dude, I'm back here.
I'm here. Clint Boyer battling the 9 of Scott Riggs.
And about the only thing that's not bent on the Clint Boyer's car, the 2, is maybe the roof that our camera's sitting on right now.
That's for 8th place. Johnny Sauter trying to hold off Kenny Wallace. And up front, Biffle has caught his teammate Carl Edwards.
And he's there right now.
Carl gave him a lot of room.
Now Reese Sorensen in the 41 car, remember he was the car involved in that last caution. He's actually a lap down back in the 30th position.
I think he might even be 2 laps down.
2 laps down, yes. Riding with Kyle Busch right now in the 5 car, and I think the reason his crew chief, Chad Waller, told him a few laps ago, bring it home, they have had a rough start to this 2006 season. They ran well, but the finishes have not been there.
Yeah, only one top 15 finish, 7th at Mexico City. Matt Kenseth now has a mirror full of our pole sitter. Not anymore.
Nope. He just pulled down and let him go. He knows Harvick's quicker. No need holding him up.
Now Harvick just drives underneath Carl Edwards in the 60. He opened the door for Kyle Busch in the 5. I think definitely, like you anticipated, Carl Edwards paying the price right now for those older tires.
He can't stay on the bottom anymore. He's sliding up the racetrack. He is out of tires.
Harvick and now Kenseth make the pass on the Missourian Edwards.
He was fine until, like you said, he got in that lap traffic.
McFarland will pit, and you see the hot water coming out the overflow.
And the reason is that right there, just like we talked about Clint Boyer, probably punctured the radiator.
Yeah, we saw him run hard into the back of the car over there in one of those cautions, and he's definitely busted the radiator.
Keep it running, don't let it stall.
We're going to try to get him back out on track to complete as many of these remaining 35 laps as he can.
Boy, these are the toughest laps of the day, too, buddy. You've been out there for a long time. Your car is, you've used up all your stuff. You're just trying to get it to the finish.
Kevin Harvick working on Kyle Busch, and there's a big knot of cars in front of them.
Our leader right now, Greg Biffle in the 16. Wow, he just went from the top to the bottom to go by Jay Sauter in the 01 car. He was boxed in over turn 3 and 4.
I tell you, there's a car in the wall over there, guys. Right in front of them. Ah!
Cleaver. Todd Cleaver's had a rough weekend here at Bristol.
Used up a lot. Wiped
a lot of equipment. Wiped the car out in practice this morning. The right front won't turn. Most of that damage is prior to this caution flag, which is the 13th of the day.
Your front's locked up. Yeah, let's just take it to the garage, guys.
I think I would. Look at that. Right front's locked up, and the right rear's wobbling.
All right, I want you to look right here. This is where all this gets started.
That's a hard lick,
yes,
and it lifted the whole left side off the ground.
You said punt, pass, and kick. There was a kick.
Yeah, and he's a pretty big boy. He might want to get out and kick somebody.
That was actually Stephen Wallace in the 64 car that got into the back of him.
And look at everybody swerve
including Kyle Busch in the 5 and Kevin Harvick in the 21 car. Right now, our second and third place car.
Mark Green will be the free pass car.
Right now, Stephen Wallace in the 64 car. He's 13 laps down in 34th position. Started the race in 3rd position.
He's had an eventful day.
Just breaking him in just right.
31 laps to go in the Sharpie Mini 300 on Fox.
NASCAR Busch Series on Fox is sponsored by Aaron's. Nobody beats Aaron's. Nobody. By Q, the heat-activated oil that helps maximize power. By Subway Restaurants. Subway. Drive hard, eat fresh. And by Larry the Cable Guy, health inspector.
Get her done!
Now playing in theaters everywhere. We have Larry the crew chief guy with Jeff Hammond from the Hollywood Hotel. Quick recap of the race. Kevin Harvick led most of the first 32 laps. We had a snow delay for about an hour plus. Once they got started, Harvick was leading again. He's led the most laps today, but into the pits with some tire problems. It was debris that was on the tire, cost him the lead. Meanwhile, Matt Kenseth bumping his way to the front, working past Denny Hamlin here in the 20 car and creating some problems for Kyle Busch here. Currently, Kenseth 4th behind Biffle, Busch, and Harvick. And here you see moments ago, Roush teammates, Greg Biffle passing Carl Edwards for the lead. We have had 13 cautions so far. That's the most at a Busch race this year. You disagree with Darrell about Harvick. You think he has something left?
I think Kevin's been saving a little bit. If he can get around Kyle Busch that right there in the 5 in the second place, I think we're going to see an interesting battle, a battle we've seen before between Biffle and Harvick.
Jeff, if he gets back to the front, it'll be one of the greatest comeback drives in Bristol history. Here we go.
But he's really good at it, Mike. I mean, he started last in the Cup race. Last year he started way back in the Busch race and won them both.
Boy, Kevin Harvick got boxed in over there off turn 2, trapped by Reed Sorensen in the 41 car that's 2 laps down. Kyle Busch in the 5, all over Greg Biffle in the 16 car.
He said, you know, he said in his radio a little bit ago, I'm just riding, saving my stuff.
No more just riding now, though.
He wants Biffle's position or a piece of his bumper.
It is show me time.
But now here comes Harvick in that 21 car, as well as Matt Kenseth in the 17. 25 to go.
My heart rate has just picked up a notch.
And 25 laps will go by in a hurry.
And my rearview mirror has just gotten a lot fuller than it was a little while ago.
That's right. If we stay green, this race runs about another 6.5 minutes.
Boy, Kyle Busch in the 5 gets off the corner so much better than Biffle, but he just is not quite good enough. He just can't quite get by him right now.
If he can diamond the corner a little bit, let it fade. If he can get enough room between he and Harvick where he can run up the hill a little and dive under him coming off, that would be a great Bristol pass. Let it go up in the middle and then run down under him off the corner.
Boy, Biffle is not going to give that bottom up right now in that 16 car.
Well, Kyle Busch is in the gas at the same time as Biffle, but in the middle of the straightaway is where Biffle is able to pull away a bit.
Right now, our top 4 cars are almost dead equal on the stopwatch. Biffle all the way back through Kenseth in the 17 and 4.
I think what's going to happen, just like we saw with Carl Edwards, going to catch up to the back of the field. You get in that lap traffic. That's when business will pick up.
20 to go as they come by.
Now Kyle Busch in the 5 is starting to fade a little bit, and he has his hands full with Kevin Harvick in the 21 that we're looking at right here.
Just so obvious when you get off the corner right. It puts a huge gap between you and the guy behind you. Just a little squeeze up out of the throttle and the guy in front of you drives off a number of car lengths.
Kevin Harvick racing for the Busch Series Championship. Trying to get to the back bumper of Kyle Busch.
Both those cars, the 5 and the 21, they're both really good right in the middle of the corner. And Biffle, his car handles where I like for him to handle. Down that straightaway.
Yes, sir.
Not very long, but she's digging.
I mentioned John Andretti has passed Johnny Sauter to move back into the top 10. Andretti got tires not long ago.
And give a call to his teammate Kenny Wallace in the 22. Solid run for him up in the 9th position.
Laps winding down.
We're riding with Kenny Wallace here in the AutoZone Valence Cam.
Gonna be a little business, so gonna be a little action between the 5 and the 21 for this over.
Be patient, be patient, be patient.
Well, and like you said, Darryl, with 16 to go, they're just about to catch the tail end of the field.
That's gonna make a big, big difference.
Harvick is really strong coming off turn 2 and down the backstretch. Lap car won't be a factor.
Oh, he's looking right there. Busch had to be a little cautious with the 25 of Lewis. Harvick got a nice run, but then they're kind of equal again. Right now, no mistakes. That's what everybody's got to keep saying to themselves.
And they're catching right back up to Greg Biffle. Biffle's lead is gone.
Boy, Harvick in the 21.
I'll tell you, Biffle is really slowed.
He got back to the gas so much quicker than Kyle Busch in the 5 and the 3 and 4. Just a little bump there, but not enough to upset the 5
But Kyle Busch was sideways is the reason why, Larry. I think Greg Biffle has slowed considerably over what he was.
You're right, Darryl. He is half a second slower than at the start of this run. And that's brought the field back to him, Matt.
And Biffle was just told, do what you have to do. The reason is we have a battle for the lead. He says, I have a loose wheel.
And he's lost the lead, Matt. He'll lose 3 spots.
I'm going to tell you what, we were just about 3 wide going off into turn 3 on that last lap, though.
Boy, and Harvick just got a little sideways. And Biffle is way off the pace trying to get to pit road.
He will make pit road, and now instead of 4, it's a 3-car race. 10 to go.
10 to go. You got 1. He's overdriving it back here. Nice and smooth.
Now, you got to just be able to click these cars off that you're coming up on. If you can get through traffic, you can put some distance between you and the guy behind you.
It's going to take Harvick 2 or 3 laps, maybe 2 laps to get back to Kyle Busch's rear bumper once again.
They're 2 really equal race cars. The 5 and the 21 both are really good, and Kent's is sitting there wanting them to get up there and race each other.
All of their lap times are within 100th of a second of one another, all 3 of them.
And Harvick's getting off the corner so much better than Kyle Busch, but Kyle will not move off the bottom in that 5 car.
There's going to be some bump and run here just in a very few laps.
Lap traffic ahead, 8 to go. Mark McFarland, most of the lap traffic has been high, and Busch squeezes down underneath him.
He knew he had to get back to the bottom.
Well, he thought McFarland was going to go to the outside, but at the last second he didn't.
Might be 1 or 2 more cars to catch before the checkered flag. 6.5.
Don't overdrive it. Don't overdrive it, bud. Nice job.
And Harvick's there.
And why they're telling him that is because if you overdrive the corner, you'll slide up and open the door. So back off early, but get back on that sucker fast.
Yeah, if he moves up the racetrack, he'll go from 1st to 3rd, I guarantee you.
David Green is the car ahead. He's a former champion. He's already shown that he will stay to the high side and will not be a factor.
Any lap car right now, though, is a distraction.
5 to go.
You just got to be able to figure out where you're going to catch him. And that was not a good spot, but it's going to work all right.
4 to go this time.
Oh,
you're all clear. 21 win, bud.
I can feel it, DW.
If he can get to him, all he's got to do is get to him.
His brakes are glowing back here, buddy. Keep on digging.
That 1/2 a car length might as well be half a lap.
Here
but Harvick's on the gas.
He's looking.
He just can't complete it off the corner. He really gets to the gas hard. He just can't stay in it. Actually pulls away a little bit that time off turn 2.
I'll tell you, Busch is doing such a nice job of easy in and hard off, and that's how you win here. As long as you can get that good forward bite, jump up off the corner like he's doing.
2 to go, outside.
That hurt him a little bit right there. He had to slow down a little bit more than he needed to.
Harvick cooled his tires off.
This could be it right here. This could be it.
Another lap car ahead, Foyt.
He's there. He's looking at him.
White flag.
He's right with watch the 38. White flag, man. White flag. We're cool.
No mistakes. You're cool. You're going to get that 38 going into 3. That could be bad news.
One last corner. Yeah, I think you got him. Oh, yeah, they're racing. They're racing.
Oh,
Kenseth
yeah.
trying. Harvick and Kyle Busch wins it side by side for second.
Wow.
Harvick holds off Kenseth for second.
Kenseth's probably saying, why didn't I try that about 3 laps sooner?
Oh, we got him wrecking here coming off turn 4 almost. Paul Menard got in the back of John Wood and turned him sideways.
That was for position, too.
Yeah.
And, of course, John didn't appreciate that and rammed into him.
Kyle Busch started 20th today and scores his first Busch Series win since Lowe's Motor Speedway last May. It's his 7th career win in the series and his first top 5 of 2006. He did not lead this race until 11 laps to go.
But you know what? I like the way his confidence. When he said there for a few laps to go, I'm just riding, saving my stuff. And he saved just enough to win the turkey.
And Mike, I think you said it, only one top 15 finish so far this year.
I think he blowed it up. Six races, 6 different winners in 2006.
I like it. I guess when you're 20 years old, you can say you demand, right?
Yes, so.
Especially if you win here at Bristol.
That's right. You demand today.
And he wants to play. Let's show you the last lap run for 2nd place.
Tell you what, Matt Kenseth in the 17 got a good run on that high side. I thought the start-finish line been just a little further down the front straightaway. He may have completed that pass.
The rookie gave him a lot of room, though. I think he knew he could beat him back to the line, but I bet Matt's saying, I wish I'd have tried that a couple laps sooner.
Kyle Busch has the checkered flag in hand. And now he will drive his Chevrolet to victory lane. We'll be there in a minute.
'20-year-old Kyle Busch, like a kid loose on snow day earlier, where there was an hour-and-a-half delay, maturing as a driver in a hurry with 11 laps to go, taking the lead and holding off Kevin Harvick, who swept the Bristol weekend last year. Now Kyle Busch has a chance to do that here, winning this race, holding onto that checkered flag. He starts 20th tomorrow, hopes to do the same. His brother Kurt has done well here. Let's check in with Jeannie at Victory Lane.
Did you imagine we'd be here earlier today? Neither rain, sleet, snow, nor Kenseth or Harvick could slow down Kyle Busch. Got to get him off the car. High fives from everyone. An incredible afternoon. Got to get everybody in here because this was such a team effort. I don't want to cut you short. There's plenty of time for love to go around here. But after you were having a snowball fight earlier today, did you see yourself going from Wonderland to Fantasyland?
No, I never did, but these guys behind me stick with me, and through the thick and the thin, and they do such a great job for this Lowe's Monte Carlo SS. It's awesome, and I just can't thank them enough. They gave me a great piece today. I knew I was going to have a little bit of a battle there with Biffle, but I was able to make it a pretty clean pass. And wasn't sure if I was going to be able to hold Harvick off or not, but was able to do that. And Kenseth and I had at it a little bit, but it was all fun, good, clean Bristol racing.
Yeah, were you saving something for the end there? Because Harvick just kept digging, but there you come with 11 laps to go.
Yeah, I was a little bit when Kenseth was behind me. I was trying to save a little bit there, and then he rooted me out of the way, and I'm like, all right, I guess it's time to race now, boys. All right. So as he slipped up on that restart, that was actually pretty cool because it gave me a free pass, but I'm just glad, man. This is Bristol. I love Bristol, and this is where my brother always wins, so it's great for me to be here with the number 5 Lowe's Chevrolet.
All right, congratulations. We're going to catch up with the guys that were in your rearview mirror. Go enjoy.
Impressive run by Kevin Harvick, 32nd all the way back up to 2nd. If you could do the white flag lap over, what would you do differently?
I tried to get too much there, and I knew if I could get to his bumper that it was, there was a good chance. So all in all, it was a great day for the U.S. Coast Guard Chevrolet. Had a tear off, get wrapped around that left rear tire, and I thought it was flat and just had to pit. And what do? I hate to give them away when the cars are that fast, but to come back and have a car that's good, that is that good, and Shane Wilson and all the guys did a great job. So shoulda, woulda, coulda, disappointed, but in the same sense, happy that we rebounded as well as we did.
First last year, starts out this weekend 2nd. Steve? Thank you, Matt. With Matt Kenseth, and DW wondered out loud after the checkered flag fell, you had such a great run going. If you had made your run a little bit earlier, could you have got past Harvick?
I don't know. I'm just laughing at Kyle Busch's interview on radio. You know, it was a really weird deal. Our car took off pretty good on them stickers. We ran up through there, and I finally got by Kyle after a bunch of jockeying around, and I messed up on that restart and got high. I got some junk on the tires, and Kyle got by me. And then that long run, we weren't very good, and I got out of the way and let HARVICK go, and I thought he was going to get by Kyle, and I'd follow him. And after the restart, it was just a totally different car, and we had that 10-lap caution. It was just a whole new car, and I felt like if I could have been in front, I would have won. So I feel bad that I messed up in that restart and wasn't in front when it counted.
Thank you, Matt.
A good run for Denny Hamlin. Started in 7th position, ran up front all day, finished 4th. How was it?
It's a pretty good run for us. You know, I told you before the race started we were going to get a top 5 out of this, and had great pit strategy and a good car at the end. You know, we were struggling on old tires when we were out there in the lead, just trying to hang on. But when we were of equal tires, we were just as fast as those guys. So I think HARVICK had an exceptional car and probably the car of the beat. But Rockwell Automation Chevrolet was really good today, and top 5 will definitely help the cause.
And you drove it beautifully, Mike.
Ron Hornaday and Kenny Wallace, the first of the Busch Series only drivers. It's the 18th top 10 for Kenny Wallace here at Bristol, and here are the point standings.
You know, Mike, as I look at that rundown, those first 6 guys have got to run 800 laps here at Bristol this weekend.
Wow.
300 today and 500 tomorrow. Physically, that's a tough day's work right there. A tough 2 days' work.
And Carl Edwards, 175 laps on those tires. He ends up 5th, but a pretty good day for a lot of the Busch Series regulars. Hornaday, Wallace, Andretti, Johnny Sauter, Danny O'Quinn Jr. finishes 7th through 11th.
Well, Chris, today proved if you can catch them, you can pass them. Wait till tomorrow.
That bottom groove and Busch, HARVICK, Kenseth, Hamlin, Edwards. We're going to see them all Sunday here on Fox, but it'll be 500 laps at that time.
500 laps, and we've been talking about it all along, how grueling this race is. So doing 300 laps here today, as late in the afternoon is, a lot of these guys want to go get some sleep and get rested up for tomorrow, because tomorrow's battle will be that much more aggressive as we get into it, because I don't think we're having any weather issues tomorrow. It's going to be a real fierce race.
So we do have, or did have, a night race at Bristol.
Yes, we did already here in March.
Tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern on Fox. Of course, you can start your day with NASCAR race day on Speed, but on the pre-race show, 10:30 Pacific, 1:30 Eastern, we'll go 10 laps with Kevin HARVICK, his success here. Kurt Busch will join us live from the grid as we get ready. We'll also hear from Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. and DW and Jeff give you that ride and drive as only they can to give you just a little bit of a better feel for Bristol. We saw some tempers being aggravated a little bit in between the snowflakes.
I think temperature's already been kind of elevated just a little bit for sure. And just think about like yesterday night on Cops. Maybe these guys need to be watching it, because that's what's going to happen tomorrow if they make a mistake. NASCAR will be after them.
Any of you drivers get out of control, you'll be on America's Most Wanted. You'll be on your way to the red truck,
Yeah, you get a chance to be called at the big red truck.
Well, it was an unusual weather day in Bristol. It's amazing we got 300 laps in, extending the Busch Series race. And the sharpest of the drivers, 20-year-old Kyle Busch. After they ran the first 32 laps, we had the snow delay for an hour plus. And then Kevin HARVICK, who led the most laps, 120, thought he had a tire problem, debris on the tire. You heard him talk about that. Greg Biffle, who led late, did have a wheel problem, which cost him the lead. Carl Edwards led 65 laps. Denny Hamlin led 29. But in the end, the Bristol stop successfully stopped by Kyle Busch. Promotional consideration provided by these fine people. For our entire gang, Chris Myers, thanks for watching NASCAR on Fox. We'll see you tomorrow. Cup racing from Bristol.